Come on, let's do it. Nothing better than kicking it with Auntie Leah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Auntie Leah is in the house. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are kicking it with Auntie Leah. Yeah, let's get it, let's do it. Come on in. Come on in now. So Auntie Leah can do a thing. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yo, 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 welcome back to Kicking It with Auntie Leah and the Truth Gang. Tonight we will be reviewing a newly released interview between Jeff Metcalf and Nancy Grace. It was released today, but it's behind a paid wall, but I have early access to that interview. So right now I'm just going to wait on some more people to come in. So we always listen to a little bit of a song while waiting on more people to get here. Please share the live. Please like the live. Be a little patient. Couple of minutes. We need people to know that we are here. I don't have to rewind.
Social injustice.
The live or not like that, or the interview. I want to watch it one time. Get into it.
Mama cried when the sirens came. Another young soul gone, another family changed. We march for the truth, but the pain remains. Different faces, same story, just
everybody in the building.
We grew up hearing freedom reign, but freedom feels different when you're fighting for everything. Working 2 jobs, still can't pay the bills, while the wealthy get richer from the top of the hill. Turn on the news and what do we see? More division, more hatred, less unity. They tell us be patient, wait our turn. But how many generations gotta live and learn? Oh, we've been knocked down, pushed aside, told to be silent when our people cry. But there's a fire that they can't control. A strength is buried deep within our soul. My people, hold your head up high. Don't let this world convince you not to try. Struggle through the pain. Oh, we'll keep standing in the pouring rain. Hey, they can build walls, they can close doors, but they
hit the
can't
like button,
stop
that would
what
be
we're
great.
fighting for. We are the voice, we are the light. Oh, and together we'll keep up this fight.
1 more minute, we'll get
Children
started.
growing up without a chance, caught in a system that won't advance. Schools underfunded, dreams put on hold, while promises fade and stories grow old. Mothers praying every night that the babies make it home alright. Fathers working till their hands are worn, trying to get their families a better morn. Still we rise when they expect us to fall. Still we
Just waiting on some other people to get here.
Still we love when they give us hate. Still we believe it's not too late.
They tell us history's in the past, but the scars of yesterday still last. Red lines drawn through neighborhoods.
Thank you so much for deciding to stop by my channel. To kick it with the Truth Gang and me, I am Auntie Leah. If this is your first time being here today, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit your notifications button. Tonight, we are still continuing our conversation regarding Karmelo Anthony. Jeff Metcalf has did a recent interview with Nancy Grace that was released tonight. It was released on Fox 1. Well, you have to pay for a Fox 1 subscription. So a lot of people are not able to see this interview. So we are going to watch it together because we will continue to talk about the appeal process. We will continue to talk about the case. And we will continue to talk about what we feel is a great injustice that was served to Karmelo Anthony, whether you agree with it or not. Now, here's the rules of the chat. The rules of the chat is you can voice your opinion. You can disagree with the view of this channel. As long as you stay respectful in the chat, we're good. As soon as the racial slurs, the insults come, you're out of here. Okay? I don't tolerate that, because what that is deflecting, disrespect on major levels. Period. So let's watch the interview. Let's get our notes together. Let's talk about it. We can have respectful dialogue, and we can agree to disagree. We're all adults here. Let's get right into it.
Convicted in the murder of teen athlete Austin Metcalf. But tonight, is Anthony's conviction set to be thrown out, reversed, tossed? Tonight, joining us, Austin Metcalf's father responds. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. And why did the suspect have a knife at a track meet?
Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, reached inside, and said, "Touch me and see what happens."
The suspect stabbed an unarmed teen boy.
Hold on. And I'm just protecting myself.
Where do you want me?
If somebody is shooting the victim, they need to be over there. Don't reach for anything, all right, man? Stop right there for me. Dispatch 443. I got the suspects, and they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. This is the alleged suspect. All right, bye. Okay. We'll figure that out. So nothing on your person at all? Nothing? Mind if I reach in your pockets and stuff and all that? Nothing been stabbing? Okay.
Did the jury get it right?
Yeah, they did. You know why? Because they were picked based upon the law. They listened to the facts. It happened here in this very courtroom, and they got a verdict. And so that's the process. And whatever they say, they get it right. I talked to Mr. Anthony a couple of times because I'm legally required to go over some things with him. He seems like a nice young man who committed a crime, and he understands today more than any day before today the consequences of committing a crime like he did.
From our friends at WFAA, but to Crime Stories investigative reporter Dave Mack, you hear the judge, that's Judge John Roach, who presided over the murder trial, state that Karmelo Anthony was a, quote, nice young man. Well, the jury did not hear a lot of information regarding Mr. Karmelo Anthony, such as what?
Nancy, Karmelo Anthony had a background that the jury never heard. Some kind of gentleman's agreement was struck, so the jury never heard that Karmelo Anthony had a fascination with knives and talked about blood and licking blood off the knife. He had a number of strikes against him, I guess is the best way to put it, that were all personal and dealt with his background growing up and being in love with a knife. And the fact that a knife was used in this murder, they were able, Karmelo Anthony's attorneys were able to work a deal with the prosecutors to prevent the jury from hearing this personal information.
Dave Mack, you said a history with knives. I believe specifically texts were uncovered regarding him stalking his girlfriend, text regarding his fascination with knife violence, a statement the day of the murder where he sends a picture of the murder weapon and under it states, "I'm low-key on the edge."
Nancy.
Claims that he threatened to
Nancy, you can't even get the word that he used right. You've already lost credibility. Let's keep going.
blow up the school or harm people at school, claims of prior attacks. None of that came in. Is that a correct summary of the information against Mr. Karmelo Anthony that did not come before the jury? Is that correct, Dave Mack?
Yes, ma'am. That is exactly correct, Nancy. There was so much information that the jury did not hear. And it's really shocking because a lot of us said, well, why would anybody take a knife to attract me? Well, after seeing these messages, these text messages, yeah, you kind of understand this was right up his alley.
As a matter of fact, Dave Mack, wasn't there a statement from Mr. Anthony that said he would lick, L-I-C-K, the blood off?
Directly after this interview, I am going to play a live from a young lady that was inside the courtroom to break down these messages. Nancy's pissing me off already. I'm just saying, but I'm going to listen to it.
The knife.
That is exactly what he said.
Joining me is special guest Jeff Metcalf. This is Austin's father. He is the founder of the Austin Metcalf Foundation. It is a nonprofit focused on emotional regulation and conflict resolution. With him is Dr. Bruce Carter, the director of the Austin Metcalf Foundation. Mr. Metcalf, thank you for being with us.
Good to see you again, Nancy.
There was a quote, gentleman's agreement, where that evidence did not come in against Karmelo Anthony, and evidence against your son, the murder victim, would not come in. My question to start with is, were you surprised that Karmelo Anthony said he wanted to lick blood off a knife?
I mean, that particular statement definitely sent up red flags. So it's not a normal statement that anyone would make. So yes, it concerned me.
Okay, I had a stronger reaction, I guess, than you did, Mr. Metcalf, because when I have a murder committed with a knife and a picture of the murder weapon is texted the day of the murder, and underneath it says, I'm low-key on the verge, coupled with claims that the killer stated, I want to lick the blood off the knife, I have a pretty violent reaction to that. Renee Rockwell joining me, criminal defense attorney out of the Atlanta jurisdiction. They should be really happy that testimony did not come into evidence. That would have case closed right there.
So Nancy, when you're a defense attorney, you're worried about the way your client looks. What is he going to wear? Where is he going to sit? What is his hair going to look like? You're worried about everything. The worst thing of all that can come in is something that's going to make the jury hate him, make the jury decide what happened before that evidence is even heard. Of course, you're going to leave that out. That's evidence of poor character.
Back to Mr. Metcalf. Mr. Metcalf, what can you tell me about this so-called gentleman's agreement? Because as part of that agreement, not only was very incendiary, damning evidence about Karmelo Anthony kept out, but the state agreed that in exchange for that, the defense would keep out facts regarding Austin. Like what facts were the damning facts about Austin, the murder victim?
Well, they brought up facts about Hunter and Austin. So they went all the way back as far as fourth grade, and they pulled all school records and all police records. Well, they were caught spray painting graffiti when they were young. That was a problem. And there was an incident at school in fourth grade involving, quote, an assault, but he pushed the girl to the ground. It got way out of hand, obviously, and they went to the police. But outside of that, the rest were basically school infractions, and it went on and just documented every single thing that ever happened in their life as teenagers and young children.
Did you say this goes, the so-called damning evidence was him pushing a girl down on the playground in the 4th grade?
That was one of them. And the other one was that they did spray paint some graffiti with some racial overtones with it. So they were punished at home. They had to do 12 months probation. I mean, I think that was in 6th grade, but outside of that, the rest was just like in-school suspensions or out-of-school suspensions for comments made to teachers, bad language, things like that.
Okay, let me understand. How old was he when he spray painted graffiti of a racist nature? When was that?
I think they were 12, if I remember.
Okay, so in exchange for that not coming in, evidence that Karmelo Anthony sent a picture of the murder weapon that says, "I'm low-key on the verge," the day of the murder, and evidence that he said he wanted to lick blood off the knife. I don't know. Was that a fair exchange?
I mean, it was a deal that was struck between the attorneys. So the way it was presented to me was, we're only going to deal with what happened that day, stick to the facts of what happened underneath the tent on that particular day. And I was okay with that.
So let me understand. Dave Mack, the so-called gentleman's agreement occurred in chambers, in camera. It was not made part of the official record, the transcript. The damning evidence about Karmelo Anthony never saw the light of day in the courtroom. It was not part of the appellate record, to my understanding. The racist graffiti that Austin Metcalf spray painted in, I think you said 6th grade, that didn't come in. And some school suspensions and pushing the girl down on the playground, that didn't come in. And it's not part of the trial record. Is that true?
Well, Nancy, it wasn't part of the trial record, but because of the hearing for the new trial, now it is a part of the official record. You're kind of late. You're behind. Let's go.
Correct. Everything you just said is correct.
So, Renee Rockwell, where this leaves me is we're looking down the wrong end of a barrel of a reversal. Because this is how it played out, Renee. And Dave, jump in. Mr. Metcalf, Dr. Carter, jump in if I've got this wrong. But the way I understand it is this. So they don't want any of this inflammatory, prejudicial evidence to come in on any record, right? Because the media will get a hold of it and it will be on page 6, right? Karmelo Anthony wants to lick blood off knife. Okay. Racist graffiti. It was not part of the record. But then, here's where the rub is. Here's the fly in the ointment, Renee. Then we hear post-trial, Karmelo Anthony says, well, I wanted to take the stand. But when he wanted to take the stand at trial, the prosecutor said, no. This deal not to bring in his past does not extend to his testimony. You have already introduced good character about your client. You've, quote, opened the door. The state cannot bring in bad reputation on a defendant, period, unless and until the defense opens the door by introducing good character. So here's the appellate argument, Renee. Let me see, Renee Rockwell. There's the knife. The appellate argument is my client's right to take the stand under the 6th Amendment was impinged upon because the prosecution broke their deal that they wouldn't bring this evidence in on cross-examination about licking the knife and so forth. The state is saying, no, no, no. That agreement did not extend to him taking the stand. Plus, you brought in good character. So now we have to respond with this evidence. That's on you. This is a serious appellate issue. When it impinges on your right to take the stand, you got a problem.
Well, that's
And
with
Nancy,
that,
how
I agree.
else do you make a self-defense claim unless you get on the stand and say, okay, I did it. There was no doubt. There were 16 witnesses. There's no doubt who done it. The question becomes, why did you do it? And if you're going to purport that you did something in self-defense, who's going to talk about it if you can't take the stand? So that's what they're going to be dealing with post-conviction on appeal. Did he understand what the attorneys were agreeing to?
No, I don't think that you can argue on appeal. I didn't understand what my lawyers were telling me. No, that's not going to hold up on appeal. But
well, unless
his decision to take the stand was impinged upon by this gentleman's agreement where there's no record of it, that's going to be a problem. Mr. Metcalf, I'd like to hear your response to the possibility that this could be reversed and we have to start from scratch.
Me personally, I mean, the legal system will play out. I have no control over it. Me personally, I don't believe there are grounds to get it overturned. But if it's overturned, I'll have to relive the nightmare all over again. But the facts don't change. The facts are still the facts.
This video from our friends at NBC. Joining me now, Philip Dubé, veteran trial lawyer out of the LA jurisdiction, formerly with the LA Public Defender's Office. Weigh in, Philip.
Before we do that, the law also says that if you try to introduce bad character on a victim, it opens the door to bad character on a defendant. So the reverse can also be true. As soon as you start saying that a victim is not peaceable, you open the door to your violence or propensity for violence.
Well, here's the thing.
So it works both ways.
Karmelo didn't have any violent record like Austin and Hunter did. Let's be real. They have messages from a game console that state in an unknown direction. They don't know if he received or sent those messages. I said what I said. I seen them with my own eyes. It said unknown direction. Austin, on the other hand, there's documentation. You have a juvenile record. And you have it for being a racist. Case closed. It does not compare. I don't care what nobody says in the comments. This is my panel, my show. It is what it is. If you don't like it, go to another show. That is my opinion.
Renee Rockwell, the law is that when a defendant brings on their good character, oh, he was a choir boy, he's never been in trouble, he's never had a conviction. As soon as the defense puts up good character on their client, I would wait for it. I'd wait, because I would have a stack of convictions of prior bad acts, you name it, waiting for the defendant to take the stand. If they brought in good character, bam, I'm all over that. With bad character.
That's right, Nancy.
But if the defendant never brings up good character, I can't bring it in. It just sits there and it gets locked away when the trial is over with all the other documents. It is illegal, it is unconstitutional to bring in a defendant's bad character until and unless the defense brings in good character. Do you agree?
I agree. Now, the question becomes, they have this handshake deal where they're not going to talk about anybody's character. And they're not going to talk about what he would have said about licking a knife or low key on the verge. That sounds like premeditation to me, Nancy. But if you want to support a self-defense claim, you have to take the stand. The problem is, had he taken the stand, here comes the state saying, that's fine, we're going to bring in all this bad character. State should not have been able to do that without him opening the door to character. Him meaning Karmelo, opening the door and saying, hey, I'm just a choir boy. I'm a good kid. I would have never done that unless provoked.
This morning was the first day I woke up with a feeling of peace, comfort.
I'm gonna address this, and I'm gonna address it one time. Stop coming in here calling us racist, because we understand that he was defending himself. And clearly we understand he was defending himself more against more than one person, because again, Hunter's first interview said we, plural, had an altercation. And Hunter also said, and that kid made a mistake. You guys want to bring intent when even Hunter said out of his mouth, and I'll play it for you if you don't believe me, that we, plural, had an altercation. Him and Austin. And the kid, Karmelo, made a mistake. Okay? Simple. Stop trying to erase the facts. They're still out there in the internet, and I can bring them up right now. He said it out of his own mouth. Stop trying to make Karmelo Anthony out of this lunatic unaliver who went to a track meet to intentionally unalive Austin. It's not working. Now you're saying, I'm not saying that Metcalf was a good kid. Absolutely not was a good kid. And nobody is on this panel is saying that Karmelo is perfect. But I am not getting ready to weigh racism against a whole race, and not just black people, Mexican people, against somebody who made messages on a game when he was 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. Just like what Mr. Metcalf said. The things that Austin them did was when they was in the 4th grade. Well, that little girl went to the hospital. She ended up in the hospital. They went to juvenile, 12 months of probation for the racist graffiti. Stop trying to minimize this. Racism is huge. And you're not going to make me a racist just because I believe that Karmelo was defending himself. I believe that. There's no way that you're going to make me believe otherwise. And as I said before, that if Karmelo was white, Austin was black, I'll say free Karmelo, because that white kid was defending himself. Period, point blank. It is what it is. Assault is a crime. Now let's get back into it. If you don't respect what I believe on my channel, just don't come to my channel. This is not your first rodeo. Let's be real.
Tranquility that I haven't experienced in 14 months. What killed me was the body cam footage when I could hear Hunter screaming. Oh God, my brother, my twin. And if you have children, and if it was your child who was murdered, would you like people dragging his name through the mud, making memes, making jokes, and just really vile comments?
From our friends at CBS, Mr. Metcalf, what is your reaction to the proposition this case could very well be reversed and all of that happens again?
I mean, I'll meet it head on, just like any other problems we do. I'm not going to avoid it. I'm not going to try to deflect. It'd be the same thing. The facts are still the facts. And I think if this evidence is introduced, now that it's out in the open, it will be introduced in a new trial. I generally believe he'll get more than the original sentence.
Everyone actually lied on the stand.
Everyone.
All of the witnesses' statements were inconsistent. All of them.
We called about 17 eyewitnesses, and it was a very diverse group of young men and women that came into court to testify. And the jury that saw that quickly realized this case was never about race. This case was about murder, plain and simple.
From CBS 11 and Fox, you know, it's very murky what will happen if this evidence does come in. But that is not the issue tonight. The issue is, will there be a reversal? Now, it's not unusual, is it, Renee Rockwell, for once there's a conviction, the whole trial team is thrown out. They're gone because the new appellate team taking the conviction, trying to get a reversal, will very likely trash the trial lawyers that gave it their all at trial. That's what's happening here. The trial team is out. Now there's a new appellate team. Explain how that works.
And what you have to say at this level and at this point, the new lawyers will say the old trial team was ineffective. The claim is ineffective assistance of counsel. Maybe they shouldn't have made that deal. Maybe they should have put him on the stand. How are you going to support a self-defense claim without putting the client on the stand? Of course, they're saying 2020 hindsight, they're saying that the first trial team messed up.
But that is not uncommon, Renee. This is from our friends at NBC. That is expected amongst trial lawyers. You get a conviction, you are going to be blasted, lambasted on appeal. Everything you did, if you sneezed in court, that's going to go on appeal, because the best avenue some defendants have is to say, my trial lawyer sucked. That's illegal.
It happens all the time,
Latin
Nancy.
term.
And
it happens all the time. It's
Let me explain to Brandy before I put her out of my stream what I mean. You're in my chat. You are screaming against the narrative. You are screaming and trying to convince everybody here, going back and forth with me and people in the comments, because you want to call Karmelo Anthony a murderer. We believe on this platform that he defended himself. When I say that you're being racist, it's because I'm a black woman on this panel saying the things that I'm saying, that I believe Karmelo was defending himself. You are revealing yourself. And nobody is comparing racism and murder. Nobody said that. Because first of all, a murder didn't occur at all. He defended himself. And unfortunately, somebody lost their life. That's called maybe manslaughter at the minimum. Okay? All right. Stop interrupting the video. Thank you. You can watch this peacefully, but stop interrupting us.
New. Don't take it personally, trial team. It happens every day.
not necessarily Latin, but here's what happens. In your motion for new trial, attorneys are often placed on the stand. The defense attorneys are placed on the stand. Isn't it true you didn't call the client? Isn't it true that the client wanted to testify? Did you include him when you were making this gentleman's agreement? How are you going to support a self-defense claim without putting him on the stand? There were 16 witnesses to the contrary. Who was there stating that he was afraid of grave bodily injury or death, and that he felt like he was forced to pull the knife out? How are you going to do it without it?
Well, that's where this is going.
Exactly, Nancy.
If this is retried and this inflammatory evidence comes in, the defense will be, because Austin Metcalf sprayed racist graffiti in what, 6th or 7th grade, that he hated African Americans, and so therefore when Karmelo Anthony comes in, he already had a grudge. So he was threatening. That's a far jump, but that will be the defense. That's what the defense will be.
Absolutely.
But I'm telling you, it will hurt the defense. It will hurt the defense a lot more if that evidence comes in on Karmelo Anthony. Sending a picture of the, let's throw it to Dubé, sending a picture of the murder weapon with the caption, I'm low-key on the verge, talking about he wants to lick blood off the weapon. I mean, that's damning if the jury hears that. I mean, I think that by keeping all this out, Anthony got the long end of the stick. That evidence would have hurt him a lot more than the evidence against Metcalf.
Yeah, I would rather leave the record silent at that point and make him look like an altar boy, frankly. Listen, gentlemen agreements are reached every day in our trial courts. We do it all the time for brevity's sake and for tactical reasons. No higher court is going to disturb this verdict because of a tactical or strategic decision made by defense counsel. That's what we do. And that is the type of choice, whether or not to introduce character evidence, is made by counsel, not the client. The only thing that the client gets to decide is whether or not he wants a jury, and he wants a jury to sentence him, and whether or not he testifies, and whether or not he wants to concede guilt.
This right here is another lie. He wasn't trespassing. 1, 2. He wasn't charged with having a weapon on the. It wasn't at school, but it was at a track that the school happens to own. He wasn't charged with that because the blade was too small. So that blade didn't break the law. So here's another gaslighting tactic they like to do. Spew stuff in the comments. It's lies. He wasn't trespassing, and him having that tool was not a crime. Stop it. Stick to the facts only.
But otherwise, counsel is the captain of the ship.
Well, I'm telling you, I don't know what goes on in your jurisdiction of LA, but I never had gentleman agreements. I put everything on the record. And frankly, I said, bring it on. You got something on my victim? If you think you can figure out a way to get it in legally, have at it. Because I'll think of a way to keep it out legally. But that's just me. What?
I'll give you another example where we have these gentleman agreements. So for example, I might make an agreement with the prosecution not to ever object to each other during our opening statement or our closing argument, unless there is some.
Hell no.
Yeah.
What? No. I object to opening statements all the time if it's illegal. No problem.
Well, if it's blatantly illegal, yeah, but just to break our stride and take the wind out of our sails when we're trying to tell our story to a jury, as a professional courtesy, we don't do that to each other. That is a gentleman's agreement. That's how you practice law.
Well, I think that under the code of ethics, you don't do that. And you only object when there is a reason to object. You don't just object to irritate the other lawyer. But there's no way I would agree not to object if they did something wrong. HELLNO. I want an objection and a ruling in my favor if the defense is doing anything they're not supposed to do, misstating facts. I don't care what it is. We're going to the mat. But, maybe that's why I'm not a gentleman. In this case, though, Philip, do you see? I see what the defense is arguing, that because of this agreement that when he wanted to take the stand, that he was chilled. He's claiming he couldn't take the stand because all this evidence against him would come in, and the state saying, yeah, because you brought in good character. You violated the agreement.
Okay, Brandy, for the last time, I want to get through the interview, but I'm going to address your question. If you're not being disrespectful, that's fine. You're saying you're trying to explain stuff after working in legal for 20 years. And you went ahead and threw in, I have a black son. If you have a black son, you need to understand your black son's culture. Okay? I hope like hell that if your black son is surrounded by multiple individuals and he is assaulted first, that he does whatever it takes for him to get out of that confined assault. Because you'll never know what will happen to your black son that you keep bringing up in the comments. Teach your son the fears and the reality of what black people, especially men, live on a daily basis. That's it, and that's all. Don't allow him to be out here walking the streets, gullible and naive. We're hated. He's hated because of the color of his skin. So if you want to keep bringing your black son up, I ain't saying nothing about my black kids. I know them. I know the dangers that they walk in every day. Karmelo Anthony defended himself. Had not Austin and Hunter and his goons walked directly to Karmelo to start the BS that they started with him, then proceed to assault him not once, but twice. The first assault happened when Austin grabbed his bag. That's what Hunter said. Austin grabbed Karmelo's book bag. The second assault was when Austin put his hands on him, and we believe other people joined in. Okay? I don't want to hear none of that. And even though you're not trying to be disrespectful, you are being disrespectful. And the next time I hear anything else about it, I'm going to have to ban you from the live stream because I'm really trying to get through this interview with people that want to hear it. Gaslight.
Luce versus United States, 1984 says that unless and until you take the stand and get impeached with that behavior, it is non-appealable, period, because nobody can assess the weight or the effect or the impact that that impeachment will have on a defendant. Unless and until he takes the stand, he's waiving that point on appeal. That's the law of the land.
Tonight, will Karmelo Anthony, convicted killer of star athlete Austin Metcalf, get a new trial? Is this conviction headed for reversal?
He's going to prison. Yay! Am I supposed to be excited? Guess what? I'm not. Because I don't promote and I don't accept. I feel sorry for that young man. He's fixing to live a living hell. Not that he doesn't deserve it. Yes, he does. But I'm human. I want to move on. I don't want to keep dragging things out. And if they spend all the money, there's nothing to get anyway. So I really don't care. Money's not going to bring my son back. Going after them, even if I bankrupt them or whatever, it's not going to bring my son back. Austin will never come back to that door again. That boy, he has the ability right now, actually, to be out before he's 40. He could still have a wife and kids. You tell me, you think that's justice? Nah. No, I'm not happy with the sentence. No, there was no justice served.
That from Jinxit/Rumble, Jeff Metcalf. If this is reversed, and there are strong indications it could be, are you prepared to go back to court every single day the way you did the first time?
Well, Nancy, I don't know if you're aware, the hearings that just happened. One, Judge Roach was recused on Wednesday, and then they had a motion for a new trial Thursday and Friday. That was denied by a judge who replaced Judge Roach. So the only thing left is for the actual appeal to work its way through the appellate court now, which will take some time, probably 1 to 2 years. Do I feel like they have enough grounds to reverse it? No. Or I think it would have been granted a new trial at this hearing.
No,
So-
I have to disagree with you, Mr. Metcalf. And my question was, are you prepared to go to court every single day if there's a new trial?
Yes, ma'am, 100%.
Okay, here's the deal. Renee and Philip, Renee Rockwell, Philip Dubé, both veteran defense attorneys. Renee, first to you. Motion for new trial. Mr. Metcalf is encouraged by the fact that a different judge at the same level as the trial judge who's been recused said no motion for new trial. They very rarely are granted. A motion for new trial is very simply the first step in the appellate process. It's practically routine because you typically are asking the judge who tried the case, hey, judge, reverse yourself because you really screwed up. Never happens. Or the case got screwed up under your watch.
It happens sometimes.
I know it's not never, but it's very rare. I believe that was my phraseology. It rarely happens.
Rare. However,
okay, do you agree with that, Dubé? A motion for new trial is rarely granted.
If ever. They are so rarely granted, it's not even fun. If ever, they're just not granted. And one time I brought a motion for a new trial based on juror misconduct. The court found harmless error. That went nowhere. The client stood convicted and went off to prison to do his time.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it would be like me saying, hey, Dubé, everything you've said in the last hour is wrong. So just you want to reverse it? You go, no, that's not true. I'm not reversing it. That's what it's like. You go back to the trial judge and say, hey, you screwed up big time, buddy. Let's just start all over again. That's not going to happen. And it goes up on appeal. This is just simply the beginning of the appellate process.
Of course.
So did Karmelo Anthony actually want to testify?
Did Karmelo want to testify in his own on his own behalf and was
it was based on everything. It didn't need nothing because everything they said when it's self-defense, they have to prove it. They never proved it.
And a lot of times in self-defense cases, the conventional wisdom is you're not going to win on self-defense unless you call your client. So I was hoping he would take the stand. I was hoping jurors in our community would get to hear whatever story he chose to tell.
From our friends at the Breakfast Club and Fox, and what was said at the beginning, someone did not communicate the law to family members because Renee Rockwell and Philip Dubé, self-defense is an affirmative defense. The burden is not on the state to prove self-defense. It is on the defense. Hence, it is called affirmative defense. It basically says, yes, I did it, but I acted in self-defense. And then that is the onus is on the defense to prove it. So it's not on the state to prove self-defense, Renee.
How do you do it unless you put your client on the stand, Nancy? So that's what his position is now. I was chilled because of this agreement, and I really wanted to testify, but then they threw all this back at me, so I couldn't testify.
Exactly. Nail on head. Philip, elaborate.
If the young man was told that should he take the stand, his bad character could come in somehow, should he try to implicate Austin Metcalf as having a history of violence, it would have opened the door to his bad character and he would have been grilled like a cheeseburger on cross-examination. And frankly, because under Texas law, the jury gets to sentence him because he waived his right to have the judge do it, I could see a jury slamming him with more than 35 years when all that prior bad conduct comes in.
On a positive note, as we wait to find out if this whole thing is going to be reversed and we start all over with jury selection, Dr. Bruce Carter is with us. I know you've been seeing him on screen with Mr. Metcalf. He is the director at the Austin Metcalf Foundation. Dr. Carter, could you explain the purpose of the foundation and your involvement? How did you get involved? Why do you believe it's necessary? Why do you want to be involved in Austin's foundation?
Well, the first thing is it's necessary. The mission is to prevent the next Austin Metcalf, Karmelo Anthony interaction becoming deadly or someone going to prison.
You know what?
I became involved because I met Jeff.
It's very hard for me to even listen to this guy, but I want to point out something. Two things Nancy did. Glossed over Austin and Hunter's racism crime that they committed because they went to juvenile and they got 12 months of probation. And then she also glossed over Jeff Metcalf's racist rant. That tells a lot about Nancy to me. I'm just saying, I'm making an observation, guys, and I want my people to pay attention. And when I say my people, I'm not saying only people that look like me, but believe it or not, there's some people that don't look like me that understand what I'm saying. And they fight for the same justice that we fight for. So you don't have to be the same color to be my people. Let that be clear. All right, let's keep going.
Jeff, as he was kicked out of a press conference, maybe 3 weeks after Austin was killed. And he just leaned on me. We'd have conversations back and forth. And once this was over with, he called me and said, man, I found my purpose. I want to start a nonprofit, and it's the Austin Metcalf Foundation. I want you to help me organize it. After a 4-hour meeting at Hutchins Barbecue, it went from me organizing to be a part of the foundation. And at that meeting, when I agreed to do it, what Jeff did was this. He was very clear that, hey, man, I want you to know my kids did this. There was some graffiti. They used, racist tone. I want you to be really clear what you're walking into because you're going to be ridiculed. But at the end of the day, the purpose of what this organization will do is greater than the ridicule that I do get for working with Jeff. But we're going to save some lives, and we've already started that process. So I'm 100% committed and make sure that we get the job done. And for those who have an issue with a young kid who has some stuff in his background, his name will eventually have one kid say, the Austin Metcalf Foundation helped me change the way I responded. And that's going to be the victory.
I pray to our Holy Father in heaven that you are right. With me, Dr. Bruce C. Carter. He is the director of the Austin Metcalf Foundation, along with Austin's father, Jeff Metcalf, now endeavoring to change the world in their own way. What really happened in that gentleman's agreement? Was Karmelo Anthony's constitutional rights violated, or did he avoid the stand because he didn't want to get grilled on cross-exam? We wait as justice unfolds. If you know or think you know anything regarding this case, 972-292-6010, 972-292-6010. We remember an American hero, Detective Justin Terry, Vegas Metropolitan PD, killed in the line of duty after serving the public 21
Okay,
years.
so that is the
Leaving
end
behind
of
a
Nancy
wife,
Grace's
now
interview.
widowed.
All the trolls that are here to interrupt the chat, you can please exit stage left now. You don't tell me what kind of nerve I have on my platform. It's my platform. You entered my house with your disrespect. You're a bully. You have that Austin Metcalf syndrome, and I can call Jeff a racist because Jeff got on national TV. I mean, the interviews everywhere and called my black women and black men all kind of names. And yeah, he's racist. He's racist. You don't like it, exit the channel. All right, so it wasn't that bad. I thought that Nancy would be more hard, but she actually gave us some little insight, a little bit more insight on why she also believes that Karmelo Anthony's rights were in fact violated because he was not allowed to testify. And let's keep in mind that the gentleman's agreement was not on record at first, but the brilliance of the great Russell Wilson brought it up in the hearing for the new trial, and now that is a part of the official record. So I think the appeal process is going to go great. I think that Karmelo Anthony does have a great chance at a fair trial because he was railroaded, and that's the only thing that we've been asking for, a fair trial. Even though, you have the other side that want to call us racist and they want to say, oh, you're just doing it because he's black. Well, you know what? He wouldn't have been railroaded if he wasn't black, right? Yeah, that's the hard facts. So let's get into Neek at Night's video because she was at the trial and she did a really good breakdown of these messages, these so-called alleged damning messages that everybody wants to share and take out of context. Okay, you have messages as old as 2021. Guess how old Karmelo was in 2021? 12, 13, 14, 15, so on and so forth. And he's never acted on any of this so-called evil stuff that they swear up and down that he wanted to do. And as I stated before regarding the knife, it was minding his business in the book bag until Austin and Hunter reached out and touched Karmelo, right? You see, if somebody had that evil tendency, they wouldn't have had to wait to get touched or approached. They just would have just did their thing, right? Isn't that what evilness does? Isn't that what premeditated murder is? Let's be real. Let's talk about it. If you want to talk about it, it was self-defense, in my opinion. And it's okay that you have a different opinion, as long as you stay respectful. Let's see what she has to say about these messages. She was in the courtroom, and I want to hear her opinion.
And you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight we're going to be breaking down some of the information that was revealed on both sides. Now, before I get into the nitty and gritty, I'm going to allow some of y'all to get on in here. So we'll get into it right after this countdown. We are out here in Beverly Hills with Raz B. I haven't seen you on the scene in a minute, so let the people know what you've been up to. What events start off, eat health. We have crazy. I mean, guys, you check.
I watch Neek. Okay.
The first time here, to go ahead another issues and you had
I'll drop her link.
Time where other gonna be. What's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And as you guys just seen that intro, heavy on, it is an acquired taste over here, okay? Heavy on what I do is give my opinion on trending stories, and we go over it all here. Now, I seem to always have to do some type of reintroduction because there's so many people who come on over to my channel, and I feel like after every video, after every court case, after every topic, you get new people coming over here that may not know anything about me or what I do over here or anything about my background or whatever. So before I get into the title of the video and before I get into what this video is about and what we're going to be going over and all of that, I feel it's necessary to give a reintroduction to people who may not know who I am. Now, I have been consistent on YouTube for over a year. I did commentary on Obama commentary, just to say that I've been an independent thinker since before it was popular to do commentary on YouTube, and before some pages that are even at 1 million views, 2 million views, or on YouTube. I did to me to start and going down the rabbit hole of deep diving. I got a reputation, a lot going on what I think. Okay, now if you guys are not aware, and let me pull Karmelo down for a second, because interesting, and I'm like, clearly you know nothing about who I am. Clearly you know nothing about my channel. Clearly you know nothing.
Let me get to the part.
Lie on black people, make up stories, make up narratives, make up stuff out of thin air to just say anything that they feel will make black people look bad. I am a person who my majority of my videos, I cover the black community. I cover black stories. I'm not somebody that seeks white validation, okay? And not to say anything is, well, I do think it's wrong for people who bootleg, but that's not me, okay? I'm not somebody who, just because I look at these far right-wing supremacists and how they lie, I'm not somebody who feels as though, well, because they lie and because they make up stuff, that I then need to lie and make up stuff. I'm going to stick on who I am, to my core, what I find to be integral, what I find to be, my opinion. I don't do what I do based on what they do. Okay. So I also saw people say, and it was a big riot, right? So when I said that I had these text messages from Karmelo, I saw two different conversations happening, right? I saw that there was conversations who were upset that I decided that I did not want to withdraw my support of Karmelo based on the things that he said about black women, right? Then I saw that there was conversations who felt like, oh, well, why did you even mention what he said about black women? By you mentioning that, you're falling into the white person's plan and you're trying to get people to not support him, and you're just playing into their thing, and you're just doing what the white man wants you to do. First of all, I'm not playing into anything. The information is out there. Okay. So whether I mention what he said or whether the news mentions what he said, the information is out there. Now, if you don't know anything about me, I've spent years, dragging people for filth for less. Okay. However, I saw the corruption in this case. I saw the smear campaigns that was playing out on social media. I saw the efforts that they were going to railroad this boy. So even though in the past, yes, I've dragged people for less for comments that they've made about black women, I feel like it's important to stick to the facts. Me bringing up the fact that he made those comments does not mean that I make the comments appear or that I make them go away. If I don't mention that he made those comments and I just gloss over it like I didn't see it, then that makes me a hypocrite. I saw the comments and I plan to still support, because I feel like this story is much bigger than that. This is a whole system, okay? And whether he made these comments or not,
and she's right. In order to stay unbiased, she has to bring up both sides. In her decision, as mine, decided to still stick by Karmelo because it doesn't mean he hates black women. I don't care how you guys try to spin it. He's a teenager when he said it. He didn't like to date black women. Oh, well, neither does my kid. Doesn't mean they hate black women, because they're experiencing girls, not women, if that makes sense.
They're doing to him can be any of our children. Okay. What they're doing to him could be your son, your daughter, and anybody else. What I saw was insane. Okay. So I'm sorry that some of you feel like, oh, well, you shouldn't talk about it because, you know, the white man wants you to talk about it. Oh, and then the other people who feel like, oh, well, you shouldn't support. You cannot control me. Okay. You cannot control what I do or how I feel about it. I feel like I went down to that courthouse. I saw how the sheriffs were. I saw how the judge was. I saw how the whole case went. I saw how white supremacists came up there with guns trying to intimidate anybody black. I saw how I was targeted for telling the truth about what was going on in the courthouse. I saw the whole kit and caboodle. And because I saw all of those things, I feel like it is bigger than that comment. Okay? That's just what I feel. Now, also, okay, in addition to how I feel about that, I seen somebody else feel like they were telling on me, okay, because I plan to go over all of the comments, okay? So somebody, okay, went being messy, saw my post saying, hey, you know, I'm going to go over all of the comments, and they said, oh, well, you know, I'm going to tell on her. And they called themselves telling on me to people. I'm a grown ass woman. Okay. If I saw comments and I said, you know what, you know, now that I have this information, I no longer want to support. If that's what I wanted to do, I could do what the fuck I want to do. However, that's not what I said. Okay. That's not what I said. I never said that I was not going to support this young man. I do believe that he was well within that. I seen somebody else feel like they were telling on me, okay, because I plan to go over all of the comments, okay? So somebody, okay, went being messy, saw my post saying, hey, you know, I'm going to go over all of the comments, and they said, oh, well, you know, I'm going to tell on her. And they called themselves telling on me to people. I'm a grown ass woman, okay? If I saw comments and I said, you know what, you know, now that
I am going to say that it's a lot of content creators that did turn their back on Karmelo. So I really do appreciate Nick at Night for not turning her back on this kid, because she made the right decision. She said she saw the injustice, as a lot of us did, and she continued to stick by him. She stuck to the facts. The fact that he made that comment as a teenager about teenage black girls does not mean he hate black women. I don't understand grown adults faulting a young teenager who doesn't like to date black women, probably because he was probably rejected. We don't know why he decided that he didn't want to date black girls, but that doesn't mean that he hates black women. I really applaud Nick for standing by Karmelo.
this information, I no longer want to support. If that's what I wanted to do, I could do what the fuck I want to do. However, that's not what I said. Okay? That's not what I said. I never said that I was not going to support this young man. I do believe that he was well within his right for self-defense. I do believe that the Metcalf thugs going around assaulting people, okay, was a situation where they thought they could do it to somebody else, and they found out that everybody ain't going for that bully shit, okay? But you cannot tell on me, okay? Because I'm going to do what I want to do, okay? So thinking that you're going to, and talking about, oh, well, if she's going to get backlash. Let her flip on Karmelo. She's going to get backlash. Number one, I never said that I was flipping on him, but let's be fucking clear.
Oh.
Let's be all the way clear that at any point that I get new information, I'm entitled to change my mind based on new information. I received new information and it didn't change my mind. It didn't change my support. But let's be very clear that if I get information today that changed my mind about how I look at something, I'm entitled to change my mind. Okay? So I don't know who you think you're telling on, but bitch, I do what I want to do. Now, I'm a page that if I was worried about people giving me backlash, I would have picked Team Nicki or Team Cardi when it was popular. Okay? I'll get on this page, I'll drag Nicki Minaj, I'll drag Cardi B, and I'll look at both of their audiences and not give a damn about it. Backlash where? I never gave a fuck about backlash. I never, that's not me. I don't run my page based off what's popular. I don't run my page based off of what the narrative is. I don't run my page off of, oh, well, everybody's saying go with Nikki. Okay, well, I'm going to follow. Go look at my page. I've never been somebody that followed anybody's bandwagon. If I told you I support Karmelo, if I told you what I saw I felt was corruption, that's because that's what I think. I went into that courthouse. I saw them supremacists. I seen them come up there, try to intimidate. I saw the smear campaigns that they were doing. I feel like it was corrupt. Me.
And let's be clear about something, because people seem to confuse white people and white supremacists. Two separate things. Okay. I've always said that all white people are not racist. There are some beautiful white people in this world. I have some beautiful white friends. So all white people, in my opinion, that's me. You know, there's some people that may experience otherwise, are not the enemy. It is the white supremacists, the Nazis, that I have an issue with. Racist people, period. And that's who she's talking about.
My mind is based on what I think. I think that this is bigger than those comments. I think that although there are some messages, okay, that were definitely taken out of context, I think that if a person looks at some of the other messages, they might think, well, you know, I don't agree with this or that. I'm not about to, you know, I can't control how people perceive things. Okay. That's not up to me. So before we got into the nitty and gritty, I felt like it was very necessary to remind y'all. And I can even show y'all even further. One second, because I've seen a lot of supremacists and they're in the chat. They're obsessed. They're literally obsessed. Some of these far right wing people are so obsessed. They have threads, full threads about me on Twitter. Okay, this section is specifically for y'all, okay? Because y'all so lazy to do your own work on people. Y'all just go off of what other people say. Do your own research on me, baby, okay? Like, look up my record yourself, okay? So before I ever covered Karmelo Anthony, I was already in several documentaries.
Okay,
okay?
I'm going to try to...
I'm not the little redhead bitch that she needs this for her claim of fame. This is the only time that she's ever had any sense of relevance in her fucking life. And she's grasping at straws to try to keep it going. That's not me. Before I ever stepped foot in Collin County, I have been in several documentaries, several publications for my work. I made it on CNN based on my commentary on the Diddy trial. I made it in R. Kelly documentaries based on my commentary. Live. Think that I go up to these court cases to try to be a part of anybody's club, friendship, group, clique, any fucking thing. I don't give a fuck. I'm an only child and I myself own wolf than that community. And it comes to supremacists and coons, I feel very strongly about that. So don't play with me. But to the far right-wing supremacists who you just now hearing about me, okay? You just now finding out about me. Let me show you some of my work, because I got some pretty good videos on my channel that you might want to check out. Sorry if I'm sweating. It's getting a little. So the most super my.
I did drop her
over my yourself. That for years, that's what I do. Okay. Again, I'm not.
Guys, I did drop Nick's link in the comments, so please go over and support her channel. So I'm trying to get to the part where she starts breaking down what was inside the courtroom. So bear with me a little bit. I'm trying to find that part for us.
Not the little redhead bitch who needfully curated something. Neek, stop letting them get to you. It's not just a particular crime. It's it's just anybody who might got it fucked up. Okay, I'm talking to. Okay. With that being said, let's get into the video. But I just wanted to say that because I was highly upset earlier.
And guys, this is what they do. They come into our comment section. They deflect. They call us names. They call us racist. They do things to take us out of our normal character. And that's what she's venting. She's frustrated. I get like that as well. It's very toxic, taxing. You get drained. It's like you're just fighting all day long. All because you are asking for fairness and you're asking what happened to Nolan Wells and whatever else injustice that we are fighting for fairness, and it's crazy work how we have to do that. We're doing it right now. They're in our comments right now, knowing good and well that this channel is talking about Karmelo Anthony in a way that we are putting him in a light and asking for fairness, but they decide to stop by and bully us anyway. It's called cyberbullying. You have officially adopted a name called Austin Metcalf syndrome, because that's exactly what Austin and Hunter did to Karmelo. It is what it is.
Somebody said, I kind of wish, child, they're irrelevant. Okay. They're like irrelevant. They're irrelevant in the sense of like naming them and all of that kind of stuff. But I just felt like it needed to be said because anyways. So without further ado, shout out to all of y'all in the chat. Hopefully y'all hit the like button. Hopefully you guys who don't mind an acquired taste, y'all hit the hype button. Okay. And some of y'all said that y'all have not been able to hit the hype button. I don't know how it works. I think that once I'm no longer live, then you can hit the hype button. But child, however you do it, do it. Okay. So let's get into it. So anyways, yesterday I did a video where I told you guys that I had all of the text messages that were submitted by the prosecution. Okay. And me mentioning me having those text messages, I told you guys that some of the stuff was taken out of context. Okay. And basically, somebody said you only get 3 hypes per week. Okay. Well, however many hypes y'all get, use them. But anyways, so I told you guys that I'm going to be going over those things, which I will. Now, in another video, I also told you guys that I was going to go over the Austin Metcalf stuff as well. Now, I've already shown you guys the Austin Metcalf stuff, and I will show it on the screen again. And then I will show you guys the text messages that were shared in Karmelo Anthony case. Now, again, I want you guys to know, I am going to support Karmelo through and through. I feel like he was railroaded. I feel like that, yes, there were some concerning texts. I'm not going to see other people, they want you to lie and be like, oh no, all the texts were good. You're going to see for yourself the text. So why would I lie to y'all? A lot of the stuff was taken out of context. Okay. But there was some stuff that was like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. However, whatever the texts are, I think that is bigger than those text messages. I think that the corruption, the backdoor gentleman's agreement, how they were coordinating smear campaigns, how just all of it, I feel like is bigger than those texts. I think that if I am a person and I've seen these little thugs going around and jumping people, bullying people, and now they want to try me, I'm going to want to defend myself. Okay? Period. Now, again, I've always said that whether or not he should have purchased a knife or brought a knife, that's up to the individual to interpret. Okay? I think that he had a right to defend himself. Whether or not that involved a knife, that's up to you as an individual to determine. Okay. I spent time in Collin County, and I feel like whenever I was there, I felt like it was better for me to be with it than without it, if you get my drift. Okay. That was the first time I declared any of the things. Like I went to the counter at the airport and declared an item and had to tag it. If you know, you know. So I spent very little time in Collin County, and I felt that, child, please, you won't catch me without it. So I can understand why a person may feel like, child, it's better for me to have it than don't have it. Now, whether or not you feel like a shove equals a stab, that's on you. That's an individual thing. You get what I'm saying? That's an individual thing that you would have to come to terms with. Okay. I'm not going to say if it's right, if it's wrong. That's up to you to decide, you know, what you think. But I can only speak on myself that when I was there, I didn't feel like I was safe to not have protection, you know? So, hey, but okay. So before I go over the text messages, let me pull up again. Let's go over some of the things that was on the twins' records. Okay. These were shared by Teslin, and she posted up the document. and we're going to look through it. And then you guys tell me, you know, hey, how you feel and relates to what Karmelo Anthony record shows. So this is what the defense showed in their motion. Now, another thing that is very manipulative, and the reason why I feel like it is important for us to have all of the facts, is because they will skew the facts, right? So in this motion, what the defense did was they took the text and they put it in written form, right? So it didn't take up as much space as the prosecution. So where the defense pulled out all of their bad acts and said, hey, the twins did this, the twins did that, what they did was wrote it in paragraph form. So it didn't take up as many pages, okay? So now what they're doing is they're saying, look, the rap sheet for the twins only took up 22 pages and they had 75 pages of things on Karmelo. Let's be clear. Most of the pages, and I'm going to show you guys in a second, most of the pages, they take up, like, say this is how, from here to here is how big the page is, right? A lot of the pages, they'll take up about this much of the page, and that'll count as one page. So now, and then in other parts of it, they'll put like a picture, and then the picture will take up most of the page. So now their narrative is, oh, well, they had 22 pages on our boys, but they have 75 pages on Karmelo. And it's like, just because you took a screenshot of a picture and you didn't even use up the whole page and you stretched it out multiple pages does not mean that you have more bad information on Karmelo. Like, that's literally doesn't mean that. But that's what they're trying to shape it as now. So I'm going to show you guys how the defense put in their motion. They didn't put in screenshots of text messages where it took up page after page. They just, hey, this is a bad act. This is a bad act. This is a bad act. This is what evidence we have. This is what it shows. And so it's not as lengthy. But they put, this is a screenshot. This is a screenshot. You know, it's totally different, but you'll see what I mean. So let me bring this up. So this is their motion. And so as you can see right
Real quick, I just want to address Brandy's question. Lately, I mean, times have changed. Times have changed. People are getting unalived inside school, mass shootings, blah, blah, blah. All type of things happen in school that did not happen in school when we were going to school, if that makes sense. And he wasn't at a school. He was at a track meet, and it was a multi-tool poker. I don't want to keep saying the knife or whatever, even though I just said it. That answers that question. Let's keep going.
Here, hold on. This is how they did it. So you see 48, 49, 50, 51, and how they say Austin used the N-word here. Austin used they didn't put a bunch of fluff in between to take up a whole bunch of space. So on here, it shows, and it says they had all of these different things, 1 through however much, right? And on here, it says, on December 24th, Austin or Hunter was standing over their mother, grabbing her throat aggressively. They did a Cellbrite dump, and it says either Austin or Hunter are very angry and aggressively grabbing their mother's throat. Well, you know, they could have inserted the thing and took up all this space. That's not how this was. So they did a Cellbrite dump on both of their phones. They took Austin's phone and they hooked it up to Cellbrite, and they got all of the contents out of it. They did the same thing with Karmelo. They did a dump on his phone, and they did a dump on it. So one of the pictures, what they're describing is one of the twins over their mama just choking her out. That's one of the
I do have that picture, by the way, and I'll bring it up for you shortly.
The things that they have evidence of. And if anything that they had evidence of was a lie, the other side would have objected and said that it's not true. If they tried to enter into anything into evidence, and if they tried to enter it into evidence and say, hey, there's something in the phone that shows them aggressively choking out the mom, if that wasn't true, the prosecution would have objected to it and said that they're lying. They never did that. So obviously this is true, and there is proof that one of them, was over the mama.
I'm going to go ahead and show you the proof, the evidence that came from the actual case file. And before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up on the screen. I want you to see it for yourself. I also want to read you something because this could have happened in this case. All right. First of all, it's 2 scriptures. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee and thou mayest live long on the earth. That is Ephesians 6, verse 2 and 3, King James Version. Second, Exodus 20:12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. It is what it is. I tell my kids this frequently. This right here is not honoring your mother. You're choking your mother out. But Jeff, with his racist rants, wants to make us to believe that they were just these good Christians. And I'm not here to judge, but based off your racist comments to a whole race of people, I'm questioning that. Okay? If you're treating your mother and your daddy like this is the word. It's the word of God that happened. It is what it is. Because it's in there not once, so it had to be super important. Right? Bible thumpers, they love to come in here, under the guise of they're loving Jesus and God, and try to call us black Christians instead of just regular disbelievers in Yeshua or Jesus, whoever you call them. This is the word. That's all I'm saying. Here's the picture out of the file. Choking your mother. I'll let it speak for itself. Let's get back to the video. I don't got too much to say. God's word already done spoken.
Choking her ass out. It's there. It's proof of that. They have it. Also, it says another thing that they had was Austin using the N-word, talking about another student named Keon. Number 49, Austin using, and mind you, before you get to 49, there was 1 through 49 that you had to get through. I can pull out my notes and go through some of the other stuff, but this is easier. So Austin using the N-word, and his friend made a racist joke. Then on a separate occasion, there was Austin using the N-word with the hard R. All right. Then there was another situation where Austin was calling his dad the N-word when he was upset. Austin calling his dad the N-word and asking his dad, can you read, when his dad didn't understand what Austin was saying. Page 590 through 592, it says Austin calling his dad the N-word after his dad told him and Hunter to take their medication for their ADHD. Number 52, Austin holding a butterfly knife saying, come F with me now. Okay. So they have pictures and images of this, right? So one of the things that they're trying to say is a smoking gun for Karmelo. They're like, oh, well, Karmelo, he's cooked. He's going to get max life. He's going to spend the rest of his life in jail because he mentioned the blade with the knife. They have the same evidence for Austin Metcalf. They have the same evidence that he spoke about a knife before, and he had a similar knife. Now, Karmelo had a multi-tool. He had one of those butterfly knives.
Guys, let's be clear. Let's rewind back to the video. I don't have time to play it tonight. I could. What did those 2 kids throw in the trash can? Did Austin and Hunter have a poker too? Because 2 kids, if you watch the video closely, the one they released, the surveillance footage, ran to the trash can and discarded of something. Did they have weapons too? Why did no one question what we see with our own eyes? Directly after the attack, Karmelo exits the tent. 2 boys that were surrounding Karmelo run to the trash can and discard of something. Another one looks like they circled back to the trash can, picked it up, reached down in there, grabbed something, put it in his pocket, took off running. That would change everything. I kind of believe that it was a weapon. Can't prove it because nobody brought it up. Because the kid was railroaded. What did those two kids throw in the trash can? Was it this poker that Austin was flipping around telling his dad, try me now, try me now? Let's keep going. They just want us to believe that Karmelo was this hood murderer with a GPA, a 3.78 GPA.
You know those knives that you flick them out and they come out? They have proof of him saying, with a butterfly knife, saying, hey, come F with me. Somebody said, yeah, but the difference is Austin is the one that's dead. I see this a lot. So let me get this straight, right? Because I've seen this comment a lot. A lot of you seem to think that if you go up to somebody, you put your hands on them, okay? That is the evidence in this case. Karmelo didn't put his hands on Austin first. Austin put his hands on Karmelo first. But when you guys make comments like this and you say, yeah, but the difference is Austin is the one dead, to me,
But what people are failing to realize is that Austin and Hunter are the ones who really caused Austin's demise. Why? Because if you look at the video, they walked straight to Karmelo, 4 to 6 guys, straight to him, began to attack him, well, verbally attack him first for a while. Stood right in front of him, never sat down. Karmelo never stood up. And then Austin attacked Karmelo first. The first crime was the assault. The tool would have never came out of Karmelo's bag had not Austin, Hunter, and the other guys went to Karmelo to confront him. And then they want to say, well, it was Karmelo who instigated the fight. How? How? When he was sitting under the tent peacefully, minding his business. Everybody was talking according to witness testimony. There was no problem at first. Come on, man. Open your eyes. The ones that want to really see the truth. Right? Some of us, the white supremacists, they don't want to see the truth. They know the truth.
That makes me think that because you think the one that lost the fight means that you're the victim. Now, by court's definition, he's the victim. But just because you put your hands on somebody let
me ask you this. That was coach's mistake, because you can't ask a kid to be a leader of anything. Okay, that was a mistake, and that's not a defense. Because another 17-year-old can't demand a different 17-year-old to do anything. He has no authority. So that's okay. You want to point, bring up something else? I blame the coach as well. Because if it was going to be an issue, if the rule is nobody's allowed under this tent, which is not true. We've learned that. A kid cannot make sure anybody stays out of nothing. If that's also the case, Austin should have went and got said coach. Okay? No more excuses. Austin, instead of putting his hands on Karmelo Anthony, should have went and got said coach, the authoritarian, the adult. Okay? But he didn't. He did what him and his brother were accustomed to doing. Bullying and beating up somebody, according to their official records. All right, let's keep going. Stop putting the same old crap in the comments. We're sick of it.
Defends himself and you lose, it doesn't mean that your pattern of behavior is irrelevant. You have a pattern of assaulting Black people. This case, you assaulted a Black person. You put your hands on somebody that did not put their hands on you. And just because you put your hands on somebody and you lost, okay, does not mean that what led up to it is irrelevant. A lot of you guys seem to think that, oh, well, Austin died, so anything that he did is irrelevant. Wrong. If you have a behavior of assaulting Black people and putting your hands on them, and this is a case where you put your hands on another Black person and said Black person retaliated, just because you died does not mean that your actions that led up to it are irrelevant. That's not how it goes. Now, the same thing for Karmelo. the stuff that he put in his text message may be relevant to the prosecution. There's things that he said that to them may be relevant, may show what they want to show. Somebody said, no, you are wrong. That's why Melo is still locked up. Okay. Okay. Melo is locked up because he had an unfair trial. He's in a racist county that charged him with charges that he would not have gotten if he was white. He's in a county where there are similar cases where a stabbing happened and the most that the person got was manslaughter. So him being locked up in what I saw to be a very corrupt trial is not an indication that, oh, well, that's proof that what they said is irrelevant just because he's locked up.
I agree with Nick 1000%. And I've also said over and over again, stop with the racist comments. Because if Karmelo was white, Austin was black, and a black Austin did that to a white Karmelo, and the white Karmelo was charged and convicted of murder, I would be still saying, give the white Karmelo a fair trial. Because the white Karmelo was defending himself. Make it make sense. It has nothing to do with the color of the skin. For me, now, what happened after the fact had everything to do with his civil rights. Based off what she just said. The history of other cases of being charged with manslaughter, which I would have been okay with manslaughter. Involuntary manslaughter, because he didn't go there intentionally wanting to take the life of Austin at all. He wouldn't have taken the life of Austin had not the first crime happened. Austin would still be here. Let's keep going.
Like, stop. But anyways, let me stop looking at the comments because we have a lot of irrational thinkers. And again, if that's what you think, hey, think what you think. But I believe that it's relevant. If I go around, and these are the same people, right? The same people who are saying that, oh, everything is irrelevant. They're the same people who went out of their way to smear mud on George Floyd. We all saw George Floyd die from the officer putting their knee on his neck for however many minutes. What was it, 12 minutes? How he said, I can't breathe, and how the officer was aggressive in their approach. They went over what the category called for. These same people went and found out, oh, he was arrested when he was 12. Oh, look, let's try to justify this officer killing him. Oh, look, he got arrested because he smoked weed one day. Or, oh, look, he got arrested. None of that had anything to do with why he died that day. But yet these same people will try to get you to believe that your background are irrelevant. Like, right. Cut it out, okay? Like, literally, stop. But anyways, let's continue. So also, they have proof of Austin holding a butterfly knife saying, come F with me now. It says, also, Anthony once saw Austin or Hunter get into...
I believe that's the Austin that Karmelo met that day. The one with the butter knife saying, gonna come F with me now. I believe that because those kids threw something in that trash can. I'm going to show that. But let's get through this first.
To a fight with a kid at a basketball game and can describe knowing that at least one of them are aggressive and prone to fight.
You're not
now,
black.
This is something that the far right like to leave out. They like to go with the narrative that these kids don't know each other, never seen each other, don't know each other, and that Karmelo just out of the blue just looked at Austin and decided that he needed to protect himself and that it was far-reaching. They want you to think that Karmelo never seen either of these boys a day in his life. Mind you, when the defense shared their case in chief, they showed photos of Eddie and Karmelo at a track meet. Eddie is on the same team as Austin and Hunter. So you mean to tell me that they both play track, they all play basketball, they all play football, their teams compete against each other. They go to these track meets and see one another. There's literal pictures that was used in trial that shows Eddie from an opposing team and Karmelo from his team sitting on a bench together and talking. But you want us to believe that Karmelo never saw them ever. I was in high school before. Now, I've been out of high school for 20 years. Okay, now, you know I look good for my age, but I've been out of high school for 20 years. Even though I've been out of high school for 20 years, when I was in high school, I knew who the star players were from other schools, and I was not even an athlete. The athletes know who other athletes are, especially if they are thugs that are menaces to society, always assaulting Black people. They know that. You guys have picture of them together. Let me see if I can find the picture of Eddie and Karmelo sitting on the bench together at the track meet. One second, let me see if I can find the picture. Because these same people want you to believe that, oh, that's a lie. Karmelo didn't know them. He didn't know them at all. But yet they literally have pictures of them sitting together at the track meet. Hold on, let me try to pull it up real quick. Hold on. And then I'll go to my next thing. Hold on. There's the website that has all of the let me see. They released all of the pictures. I thought I had it, but hold on. They have it on the website though. Let me see. Hold on. Here we go. I got it, the picture. Hold on. Let me just show y'all this picture before we go to, how do I rotate it? Oh, there we go. Okay, let me show this and then I will go to the next point. All right, hold on. 1 second. All right, so as you can see right here, this is a track meet that was, I want to say, 2 weeks prior to the incident. This is a picture that was captured of Eddie Parra and Karmelo Anthony at a track meet. Now, the defense, when they came up, their point was that, listen, it's common for kids to talk and sit amongst each other at the track meet. It's common for the teams to be speaking to one another, etc. This is Eddie on the track team, the same track team that Austin and Hunter were a part of. As you can see, they're sitting together talking, okay? So if you go in a little bit closer, it is Eddie Parra has on the yellow and Karmelo has on the red and black with a gray top, okay? So there's evidence that just because you go to different schools, that doesn't mean that you don't know each other, you don't intermingle with each other. These kids went to different schools and they knew of each other, okay? Now, back to what I was saying. So a part of what the Karmelo Anthony's defense wanted people to know was, prior to the incident that happened, there was an incident where Karmelo saw the Metcalf thugs jumping somebody. Okay. Also, if you look at Karmelo's text, which I'll show you next, you'll see that he's been jumped before. Number one, he's been jumped before. Number two, he saw them jumping people. Okay. He witnessed it at another game. For the people to say, well, he doesn't know who they are, it's not hard to see that these twins and know that they have a reputation, period. Then also what they wanted to note, and to the people who are begging for my attention in the chat, I see you. Thank you for watching. Every time you comment, it adds to my engagement. So keep on commenting. I welcome you to comment some more. Are you mad? Let's get you madder. You know, maybe I'm not making you probably ain't making enough comments. You know, you probably ain't mad enough. Get real mad, bitch. I don't give a fuck. Okay, like, I don't care. You want my attention? Make sure when you're looking, you see me for my good side. Also, y'all know y'all can always support via Cash App, via Super Chat, or by simply liking the video. Okay. Another person said, oh my God, all she does is beg for Cash Apps. Well, I would rather my community support me if they wanted to versus lying, instigating on people, lying about them, doing smear campaigns on them, and then playing victim when they react, and then lying to y'all, making it seem like that people want them dead, and lying for security that they already got up there with guns. I'd much rather to get support the honest way than lying, playing victim. So, I mean, I know y'all like to give money to people, victim stories on Give, Send, Go. My audience can support me the honest way if they'd like to. You know, I don't have to lie on y'all. Everything that I've said about these twins are things that came up in trial, in my opinion, based on that. I'm not making up shit on them. Okay. I'm not like y'all. I don't have to make up stuff and make up stories and make up lies about people, lie about when I arrived to court, lie about people doing. I don't have to make up lie. If I told you something, it's because it's actually happening and I can actually back it up. The other side can't do the same. They just gonna lie so you could shake your purse. Okay. If my audience want to donate, I prefer to let them know where they can donate. Anyways, going on, continuing on. So now let's continue. So Karmelo already knew about these individuals prior to the situation. He saw how they got down. He saw that they were jumping people and already knew that he might have to defend himself, you know? Then we heard about this graffiti. Now, I'm not going to say, because last time I said what this said, my page, you know, they messed with my page. But let me show y'all. So this is what they said. Read the top row. This is what they said in graffiti. They got arrested for this, and they got on probation for this and everything.
This is past being racist. It says KKK, unalive all black people, hail Hitler, and N-word graffiti. That's past. That's a hate crime. That's a hate crime. Oh my God.
Okay. This is on their record. The police have body cam footage of it. They were a part of this. And this is what came up in court. Some of the boys who also were in the situation with Karmelo, I remember seeing some of these names also that picked on Karmelo, a part of this whole gig. And Logan's mom said, she said, I would rather him learn now than in 5 years I have to deal with a body bag or something. So their parents knew that the road that they were going down could end up in a bad result. Okay. So after this was uncovered, you had family members who were like, oh no, like, okay, like, I'm glad that the police are dealing with this now so that I don't have to deal with a body bag later, because they saw the trajectory that they were going on. Okay. They saw the trajectory that they were leaning into. All right. In addition to this, there was several other bad acts. Okay. There was several other things that was going on where they at a track meet said that they should kill a Hispanic boy. So another time they were at a track meet It says Austin had messages about killing a student sitting on the bench behind theirs at a track meet. So at a different time, not in relation to Karmelo, a whole other time, they were sitting at the track meet. There was a Hispanic boy who sat in the bench behind. They started texting each other. Okay, they started texting one another, and they said, one egger behind our bench was talking wild. Okay, if you guys are under a rock and you don't know what egger means, egger is slang for a young ghetto Hispanic boy. They, Austin Metcalf, said, kill that MFer. Okay?
I have reason to believe they had that same conversation this time. As we saw, the boys that were walking, let me put this up. The boys that were walking to Karmelo, they were walking with a mission. We seen it in the way that they were walking. I have reason to believe that they received that text and they was coming straight over there to handle it. But who texted them? Who texted Austin and Hunter that Karmelo was under the tent is the question. And we all know that Eddie Parra is the one that called Karmelo under the tent. He didn't go there uninvited, but that's the narrative they want you to believe. But who sent the message again to Austin or in Hunter and said somebody was under the tent? And I can imagine those twins said the same thing that they said the last time that they was talking about another Hispanic child. Let's keep going.
They want to say that, Karmelo said something about licking the blade, whatever, and he's going to get more time. It was a track meet. So that you guys have the same type of messaging, if not worse. You're texting a Hispanic boy of color. You're texting about a Hispanic boy of color saying that he's behind the bench, same as Karmelo was behind the bench, and saying, kill that MFer. Okay? So when people go and they say, Karmelo was worse, and if he goes to get another trial, he's going to get more time. That depends on who is making the argument, because it's not about the evidence. It's about who has the better argument for real, and how you can present that to a jury and how you can let them know how it's relevant or not. Okay? They both, if you're going to say, Karmelo said something about a blade, well, Austin said something about killing people too. Okay? Then it says the day before the incident, Hunter was banned from class. And it says, Christian said, we grounded from Stevens advisory until next week. And Hunter kept kicking the door and Mrs. James got mad. And then Hunter said, no, we not. I'm talking to her. F that weak ass teacher. So on April 1st, he was banned from school. Now, I know a lot of these far right supremacists, they love to carry the lie to say that Karmelo was suspended from school and that he wasn't supposed to be at the track meet. There's no evidence of that. That has not come out in court. That didn't come out during the original trial. That didn't come out during the motion for new trial. There's literally not one evidence that says that Karmelo was not supposed to be there. The evidence that did come out was that Austin Metcalf and Hunter's coach said that he did not want them there because they're shit players. All they do is brag and leave early, and he didn't want them at the track meet. Now, at the last minute, he changed his mind and allowed them to come. But if we're going to be honest and say anybody wasn't supposed to be at the track meet, the evidence shows that it was the twins originally not supposed to be at the track meet because his coach said that they're shit players and all they do is be starting BS and leaving early. However, he changed his mind at the last minute and he let them come. Karmelo, even though they're saying, he made this comment or that comment or this comment, he was not suspended from school. He was not supposed to be at the track meet. He was literally supposed to be there, and he had a track meet run that he was doing that day. Okay. So, there's that. Now, it says Hunter messages about jumping kids from Independence track meet at a prior track meet. So it says Hunter said these shitty indie kids talking, referring to Independence high school track students. Hunter then said, let's jump them. Someone from an unknown number said, someone recorded. Hunter said, I got it. Okay. So I just want to go over some of these things before I show you Karmelo's text messages, because we need both of them to show and compare. All right. So then you have this one where it says, during a February 3rd, 2025 conversation, Austin used the N-word and said, F Edwin Parra. And Hunter said, we have two N-words, you gonna punt. It says NIHS is short for niggas. Okay. So Edwin Parra, if you guys don't know, is this guy right here that I just showed you that was photographed talking to Karmelo Anthony at a prior track meet. They knew each other. Karmelo went to talk to him that day. Okay. He went to talk to him. He knew him, that he had already prior talked to him at other track meets. He had already seen him at other track meets. They had already been familiar, etc. And this is the way that they talked about him when he wasn't around. Now, pause and read the rest of the stuff if you want to. It says on October 23rd, Austin bullied a black student in class and used racial slurs. Pause and read, pause and read. He called another student a black ass hoe and bragged about how the coaches would not do anything because he is a starter on the varsity. The teacher noted that Tehran gets picked on a lot in class by the other football players. All right. Then this also came out where Hunter was threatening to hit cheerleaders and saying that he was gonna be about that life because his hands are bisexual. And what that means is that he will hit boys and girls. And the cheerleaders were very scared of these twins. They filed complaints with the school. They were terrified of them because they were bullies. Okay. They were bullies. There was emails between the parents. There was emails between the staff because these kids were bullies, and nothing happened because they got away with it. All right. It says May 2018, Austin and Hunter bullied and assaulted Ashley Jenkins and were arrested for assault. Metcalf and Jenkins shoving incident. It says on May 14, 2018, an incident between Austin Metcalf and Ashley Jenkins marked as Amberly Bergman in the grand jury testimony. It says Ashley Jenkins, a student at Bright Elementary School, was participating in a game of capture the flag during PE class. While trying to tag Austin Metcalf, she accidentally touched his face. This angered Austin, who then forcefully shoved Jenkins to the ground, using both hands, causing her to suffer bruises and pain in her shoulders. Jenkins went to the hospital where she was diagnosed with a deep bruise, contusion on her left shoulder as a result of the trauma. It says Kutney mother stated that Jenkins is frequently targeted for bullying by Austin and his twin brother, both at school and their neighborhood, etc. All right. So it says Austin was arrested for assault causing bodily injury. Okay. And then it went down the list of other assaults on women and other things that were documented to have happened. This is him punching Sadie in the face. Pause and read. Another instance was messages about them getting kicked out of a football game and wanting to beat up kids. This is text threads. So again, when the defense showed some of the messages, this is how the defense laid out what the text message said, right? So as you can see, it says, someone named William messaged what happened today at the game. How come y'all left? Austin replied, got kicked out. William, dang, why y'all getting a fight or something? Austin said, almost. Hunter said they were talking. But look at how they posted it, right? So when the defense put up their exhibit, they didn't put up a bunch of screenshots that took up a lot of space. The prosecution knows that they have this information and they can show it if they want. Like, if this information was false, the prosecution would object to it. So when they did their evidence, they just jotted down, hey, this is what this person said, this is what this person said, and they took up minimal space. Once I show you the messages from Karmelo, you're going to see how they took screenshots of the messages and they'll put like one little screenshot, they'll squeeze it and fill up the page, and how they just wasted a bunch of papers. And with that, now they're trying to craft the narrative like, oh, look, we have more pages than them, so we have more bad stuff on Karmelo. Matter of fact, let me show y'all just an example really quickly. Hold on. Let me show y'all an example of what I mean real quick. So let me put this up. Let me show y'all an example real quick. All right. So example. So you see how they have screenshots here? So you see how this screenshot takes up the entire page? So they're using the fact that they inserted actual screenshots and it spread across the page as saying, look, Karmelo did far more stuff than us because we have more pages. And they're trying to say because these screenshots, look at this. You see how this screenshot, they use this much of the paper? You see how much is left on the page? So they put these little screenshots in there. And their thing is, oh, well, because our pages equaled up to 75, that we got more bad stuff on Karmelo than they got on Austin because they only had 22 pages. Matter of fact, let me show y'all the interview that Jeff Metcalf did. 1 second. To show y'all what I mean by how they're trying to spin it.
Get a life sentence.
You got handed a life sentence.
So did Megan, so did Hunter, and so did everybody else in my family and her family. We don't ever get to see Austin again. We don't get to talk to him. We don't get to hug him. This guy, he still gets to see his family. It's a tragedy that he has to be in prison. I feel sorry for him. Just due to the fact that his life is pretty much ruined. I don't feel sorry for what he did, though. He needs to be held accountable.
Notoriety about the killing spread beyond Texas, due in no small part to social media posts that amplified elements of the case involving race. There were no black jurors, and critics questioned whether Anthony received a fair trial.
Do you have a sense of why some people can't accept that they believe Karmelo Anthony did not get a fair trial?
Sure. There are people in this world that will believe whatever they're told. They follow. They're sheep.
Can I ask you about the racial element of the case?
Sure.
How did it get that way?
It's real simple. The other side decided to bring it up.
He said it started when he was asked to leave a press conference by Anthony's parents shortly after his son's murder.
Who was not invited, he knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family.
I think that day is when race was really entered into it. Because till that point, I never looked at it as a black and white thing. It was a right and wrong thing. That's all. Whoever did it, my first question was one, where's his parents? How was he raised? Why did this happen? Not, oh, he's black, he must be guilty. It never even crossed my mind. It doesn't matter. I don't see color.
At trial, prosecutors and defense attorneys made a secret deal to focus on what happened under that tent and exclude evidence about Anthony and Metcalf's character or past behavior.
We're not going to drag stuff from what they did in 4th grade. We're not going to drag stuff from this guy's character because at the end of the day, it's real simple. They had 20 pages on my boys. I read it. They had 75 pages on Karmelo. I read that. If it would have came out in court, I think he would have got more.
After the verdict, Jeff Metcalf appeared on a podcast where he used racially charged language and disparaged Anthony's family.
What was that about?
1, yes, I said it. 2, I own it. I'm not backing away from it. If you listen to the 10 seconds before the clip and you get the context, because I'll repeat it for everybody right now. I'm not racist.
No. Yes, I said it. Yes, I own it. No apology. No backtrack. No nothing. He's still popping his ish. I said it. I own it. But no apology? Come on. I don't believe you, Jeff. You see color. You see color. That's why your boy saw color. Let's keep going.
All right, so let me pause him right there. So you see how full of crap they are, where he's like, oh, they got 22 pages on Austin, but they only have, they got 75 pages on Karmelo. Again, I'm going to show you guys how they got these 75 pages because they wasted a lot of pages with putting in, screenshots of the text, not filling the page and all of that. Now, he's going to try to make us believe that he's not racist. Okay. He's not racist. It was an experiment. Okay. It was just a social experiment. And this social experiment was just to show us that things can get taken, and he could say something and it could go viral. He thinks that we're stupid, but that's what they think, that we're dumb. Okay, look at the way that some of their faves, they think that we're stupid. They think that if they say it, then we're just gonna be like, oh yeah, that's what it means.
Well, you know, that's so true, guys, because they use the same insults every day, back to back to back. They call us low IQ. Notice that a lot. They call us racist. Notice that a lot. So they do the same. It's the same thing. It's like they get together in a meeting the morning prior to, attacking social media pages that are asking for fairness for Black, brown people, anybody that's not their color, because they think that they're supreme to any other race on this planet. They have the same exact insults for us all day, every day. The same exact deflections as well. The same exact gaslighting attempts. All of them. So that's how I know it's organized crime. It's organized. They are sent their instructions, and they are sent out to swarm the masses. It's diabolical. Jeff, we see you though, bro. We see you. We're not buying it.
I don't think that you guys act in good faith. We don't think that you guys tell the truth. Okay. And by you guys, I'm not talking about all white people. I'm talking about them, the Metcalfs. Okay. I'm talking about the far right supremacists that they got as their mouthpieces. That's what I'm talking about. We don't think that y'all could tell the truth, because y'all have just done nothing but spin certain things, period.
Let me make something up that is racist, and I bet you it will go
Watch
viral
this. Here it goes.
on the internet. I got handed a life sentence.
You got handed a life sentence.
How is that racist? How is Karmelo defending himself racist? I'm so confused on that. They love to call other races racist that have been suffering at the hands of systematic racism, oppression, and unfair treatment for decades. Anybody in here that's on the supremacist side want to explain to me how Karmelo defended himself, not choosing to fight, racist?
So did Megan.
All right. So that was him saying that, right? Also, another thing that he says, and I meant to pause him when he said it, was he said that race got entered into this because he went to a press conference, and because he got pointed away, then that's where race got brought into it. Sir, did you forget what your little mouthpiece was running around and saying at that same time? Did you forget about when the bond was reduced?
Right.
And how the judge was doxxed, and how there was all of these racists saying all of this stuff to say that, oh, well, race got put into it because I got put away from a press conference is disingenuous, and you're foolish.
And let's be honest. Let's be clear about something. We don't know, and they probably felt this way. The Anthony's probably felt this way. If Jeff is approaching to attack them, because what happened between Austin, Hunter, and Karmelo, or not, he should have gave up. If he was really sincere about going to that press conference or whatever in peace and in love and in forgiveness, why not call their representative and say, hey, I want the air to be cleared. I'm in a forgiving mood. I want this to be peaceful. Is it okay that I come to the press conference? Because they didn't know what his intentions were. Let's keep going.
Prior to that, Karmelo Anthony had a bond hearing where a Black woman judge reduced his bond from $1 million to $250,000. She got death threats. There was all of these racial things and threats made prior to that. Then you showed up. Nobody knows what your intentions are. Okay? How are they supposed to know what your intentions are? You come up, you don't come up with nothing. You got a fanny pack on. You got all of this stuff. How do they know what you think that they're going to let you close to their son? Anybody who came up with the narrative, who claimed that, oh, the parents were wrong for turning him away. Well, I would have been wrong too, because I don't know what your intentions are.
Me neither.
I don't know what your intentions are, sir. You didn't make your intentions clear. You didn't make your intentions clear. And the same way that they didn't know what your intentions are, you're now, fast forward, you're now using the fact of this press conference as a means to make further threats. Now, again, the far right supremacists will try to make us think that what he's saying here is not a threat. We're not dumb.
Let me see
okay?
what he says here.
We're not idiots.
Let me read what he says here, guys. Let me just see if I can blow it up. I'm about to go. It says, this is the most recent message that he sent to Dominique, which is the advocate that was working with the Anthony's. And this was after the new trial was denied. He is on his BS. He's been in my comments before, trying to bully me. I have the screenshots. Jeff Metcalf, yes, has been in my comments before. Okay. He's saying, say it to my face. You're a coward, called you out, and you slither away. When the denied ruling is issued, because this is after the hearing, but waiting on the ruling, you going to have another press conference. I promise to attend. See you around. So, Jeff, you can't go around antagonizing people and bullying people and expect them to feel safe, and then go to the press and tell the world that the other side started it, the race baiting war or whatever you call it, and that you're not racist. When you won't walk back the things that you said, you won't walk them back because that's really how you feel. But people, they're not thinking. I don't care what a person or a parent is going through in mourning. It does not excuse bad behavior. It is what it is. Let's keep going so we can wrap this up.
Okay. We know what a threat looks like. We can read between the lines. But they want us to believe, oh, well, he didn't say it all the way, so then that means it's not a threat. We're not stupid. They think that we're stupid. We're not dumb. We're literally not dumb. So, Jeff, if you guys don't know, when we were at the motion for new trial, he was mad dogging people. He was there just acting like a big child, right? He's there to see whether or not that, this motion goes through for recusal, this motion goes through for new trial, and represent his son. This is the same guy who said that I have a campaign, a foundation in my child's honor. My foundation is so that we can teach people conflict resolution, and I need you guys to give me your money.
See, you see how he did that? His foundation, he's claiming it was designed to teach people conflict resolution. But Jeff, that does not address the very first issue, the root of the issue that happened to Austin. What about the bullying, the approaching, and the assaulting? That's the root. You're still low-key trying to put it all on Karmelo. You wanted Karmelo at 17 years old to learn how to resolve the conflict that your son created. Y'all see what I'm saying here? Even your organization is glossing over the root of the issue. And that is the root of the issue is the bullying and the assault. He skipped right over that. That's all I'm saying. Let's keep going.
I need you guys to give me more money. I've already raised 600, almost 700,000. However, and this is just me paraphrasing because this is what I got from it. I already got 700,000, but I need y'all to give me some more money. So I've created a fund so that I can utilize these resources of anti-bullying, okay, and help other kids have better conflict resolution. Now, that's not what he said exactly, but that's what I interpreted from it, because he's asking for money. He's saying that he has an anti-bully foundation, and he's saying that he's going to be able to teach kids conflict resolution. I did a whole video on that. People ask at the press conference, they're like, well, what's going to happen when people ask you about the racist stuff that you said? What's going to happen when you need to implement this conflict?
I'll tell you what happened. The African-American guy that sits next to him representing this organization, that's how he fixed it. Well, attempted to fix it. We see through that. But that's what he thought that would fix his racial outburst. He went to recruit a black guy to sit next to him. Another gaslight attempt.
Resolution. Well, people are going to say that you don't have the same skills because you went on that racist rant. I did a video on it. It's there. Now, again, I'm paraphrasing, and he didn't say what I said exactly, but that's the gist of it. At the motion for new trial, he's there. He's mad dogging people. Whether he likes Dominique Alexander or not, that's he a grown ass man. But you can't be out here saying that I have a fund in my child's honor and I'm going to be the face of conflict resolution, and you out here sending threats to people. Okay, so he said, "Say it to my face. You're a coward. Called you out, and you slither away. When the deny ruling is issued, you're going to have another press conference. I promise to attend. See you around." So this was something that he sent to Dominique Alexander. And he was saying, just like the last time that there was a press conference and he got sent away, he wants Dominique to say it to his face. Like, he's on timing. But yet this is the same person that want people to donate money to a fund that's supposed to be about conflict resolution. Are you trying to raise money to help people not be bullies, or are you trying to grift your son's death? I don't know which one it is. Okay, I can't tell. It's hard to tell. But this looks like a threat from somebody claiming to be about anti-bullying. You got a whole foundation about it, and when does the conflict resolution start? Does it start with the kids? Does it start with you? Who's the example? You know, somebody said, how did he know it would be denied? I don't know. Sounds like there's leaks also somewhere. I have no idea. They've been getting information, exclusive information that sounds like they're not supposed to have.
Yep.
So how did he know? I don't know. Maybe he had an intuition. Maybe he just felt it. Maybe he prayed and that's that's what came to him, or maybe it was leaked. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But, you know, it's interesting how they try to sway things. Okay. But anyways, let me pull that down. Now, let's get into this. Let's get into this document of Karmelo. Hold on. Let's remove this. Let me add that. All right. So I put my watermark on the document. If you cannot see the document, then I'll just read out to you what it says. And we'll go from there. But my watermark is over it. And let's go from there. Hold on. Where is it? Okay. All right. So make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure you guys hit the hype button if you would like to. And if you guys want to support the channel, then you guys can always support via Cash App at Neek at Night Media. Oops. Spelled exactly like this. So wait, how do I make this smaller? Okay. Yeah, that was a little bit too big. All right. So Neek at Night Media is if you guys want to support. Now, let's get into this document for Karmelo and let's get into what it says. So as you can see right here, hold on. All right. So it starts out with, it says state's notice of intent and to use extraneous offenses. So it says, come now, the state of Texas and hereby gives notice of her intent pursuant to Texas Code, blah, 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 that during presentation of state's case in chief, or during punishment in the above captioned and numbered criminal action, the following crimes, wrongs, or acts other than the act alleged in the indictment may be introduced. Notice is provided in part through screenshots of certain text messages, exchanges. The screenshots may include only a portion of the entire exchange. On April 2nd, 2025, the morning of the offense, the defendant's girlfriend, Valeria Torres Perez, reported to Centennial High School staff member that the defendant was engaging in stalking behavior to include but not limited to driving by her home and refusing to allow her to end their relationship. On April 2nd, 2025, early the day of the offense, the defendant sent a text message stating, "I'm low-key on the verge," and then emphasized the message. So here is the message at the bottom where it says, "I'm low-key on the verge," okay? And in court, the defense says that this is not true, okay? So the prosecution is able to say, hey, this is what we plan to say. The defense, when they got up to speak about it, they said, listen, we have evidence of the opposite. We have evidence that that's not what she said. We have evidence that she was ready to testify and she does not agree with the characterization of him stalking her. So you have the prosecution saying, hey, we got evidence that he stalked her. The defense says, well, we ready to put her on the stand and show that that's not true. Now, according to them, they're saying that if he went to trial, then they would put up, I guess the principal that she was supposed to have talked to, etc. All right. So then it says, hold on. Between the school years 2013 and 2021, the defendant has committed various acts of behavior, including numerous acts of assaultive conduct while attending school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And then it says, at some point during 2024 through 2025 school year, a report was made to Centennial High School staff member that the defendant had taken Valeria Torres' telephone and would not give her phone back. On or about May 2026, the defendant wrote a rant categorizing Black people, white people, and Mexican people. Then it goes to text messages that that they had where it talks about a girl starting to hit him, and then she started pulling his hair, and so he said he punched her. Okay. Then there was messages where it said, let me show you. He talked about Trump in his messages. So there's messages where he talked about Joe Biden, he talked about Trump, and he talked about like the different policies that each person had. He then talked about how, let me see. One second. Okay, I'm trying to make sure that y'all can see. Somebody said, why is him talking about politics being brought up? Because they're trying to use anything so that like, they're trying to show like, okay, any group that could possibly be mad at him or withdraw support, like, let's bring it up. So then there was these messages, hold on, about him saying that he was going to shoot up the school. So hold on, let me go to it. All right, so right here, hold on, let me move this down. So right here, it says on or about April 14th, 2023, the defendant was discussing a school shooting. These statements were made in a text conversation with phone number blank. All right, and I had to heavily redact numbers out of here. Okay, it says on April 14th, 2023, he sends a text, and when it says unknown direction, That is just his text message going out. So the text messages that say unknown direction are his messages, and the text messages that say received are text messages that he received. So it says text messages, unknown direction, that's him sending a text message out. And then it shows the difference between the text messages that he received.
Now that
So
I
it
don't,
says,
that right there, I don't understand, because why would it say unknown direction? Why would it say unknown direction if that's his text message going out? That's weird to me, but let's keep going.
The school up tomorrow. Somebody says, what? And then he says, with my blick. And then he sends an emoji. When you look at certain emojis, it doesn't show what it is when you pull it up on a computer. Like every emoji that you have on your phone, it doesn't show, but this tells you that this was an emoji sent. Then obviously this must have said that like, oh, I'm just playing, just kidding, or something like that. And then the person says, phew. So he says, I would never. Okay. So then it says that he would never do that. So then it goes on to say, actually do that. He said, I would never actually do that. Okay. So he put, I would never. And then he sent another one that says, actually do that. So I would never actually do that. And then somebody said, he says, nah, my mama would kill me before the police. The police already go kill me because I'm black, but still. This person says, chill. Okay. So right there, if you put it in full context and you go back and you look at the text, you can tell that these are kids that are joking. Now, he starts off by saying, I'm gonna shoot up the school. They're like, what? He says, with my blick. They say something, emoji, and they're like, phew, okay. And then he says, I would never. And then he says, I would never. And then if you go to the next one, actually do that. And then it says, my mama would kill me before the police. The police already gonna kill me because I'm black, but still. And they said, chill. Okay. So these are some of the things that are in here. Now, there was also,
so let the media, sorry about that, guys, for talking over her. Let the media say it. They left that part out, right? They just says he was talking about powing up a school. They didn't read the whole full context of the text, the conversation where he said, I would actually never do that. My mom would unalive me before the police unalive me. They had you guys thinking that he really was out here saying he feels like powing up the school. Come on. My God.
In here about different altercations that he had with people. Where one post where he says that, you know, people was looking at him weird, that in Louisiana he got suspended, and the same day he came back, he got into a fight. Also, there was messages about different things. Now, as it pertains to the message,
I want to check the date. The message that she's talking about now, okay, so the ones he's talking about now was from April the 14th, 2023. I wasn't quite sure if you guys are able to actually see the dates, but a lot of the messages also date way back to 2021 as well.
To Valeria, we're going to have a dedicated live for that. Now, in this post, they had pictures of him with his friends, pictures of him, same how Austin and Metcalf them have pictures with like weapons. He had a picture with a weapon on here. Then he had, let me see. Hold on. I'm trying not to get flagged from YouTube. Hold on. So that's why I'm going like this. Let me see what, hold on. 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to see which page this is. Hold on. Okay. All right. So this is him with his friends, and they showed him the red part. I covered up the firearm, But on here, you can see where it shows him. He has a group of friends, and he has a firearm that he's holding in his hand.
So that may, or I'm just going to put it out there, that's not his firearm. I don't believe it is. We don't know whose firearm it is. Just because he's with a group. But the way they put it out there, they cut everybody else out and just put him out there. But let's keep going.
Okay. Also, in addition to that, they have the messages that he said about Black women as well. He also talked about.
First of all, he said it about, let's put this into context. He didn't say it about Black women. The girls that he's talking about are not women. They're teenagers. I really wish people would stop calling them Black women. They're Black girls at that time. Let's keep going.
Mushrooms. So it says he got a dude to buy the mushrooms. Hold on, let me pull that up.
Have a good day, evening, Brandy. I want to see when these are dated.
So it's kind of small, but as you can.
Okay, so the ones she's getting ready to go into now are dated December 2024. Okay. December 2024. Keep in mind, he's a teenager.
See, again, how they put these messages in there to take up the page, and they're like, oh, look, we got 75 pages of bad stuff on Karmelo. But it's like, you can see how they put these messages to take up the page, and it's spread amongst, pages. So this right here, it says, on or about December 13, 2024, the defendant discussed selling narcotics. This statement was made in a text conversation with Anthony Mendoza. It says, got a dude to buy, and then it's an emoji of a mushroom. And then this is what Anthony sent him. He said, got a dude to buy mushroom. And then Karmelo hit love to the message. On or about December 13th, 2024, the defendant discussed selling narcotics. This statement was made in a text conversation with Anthony Mendoza. Tell that in Jerry, send a flick of the carts. Never mind, 35 a cart, right? He trying to buy these hoes. Okay. And that is him, I guess, making a drug sale. Okay. Also, they shared in here more things about his character, stuff that he said to his girlfriend, him saying that he got into a fight before. Let me see what else. All right. So then there was another message, and hold on, where he made the comments about Black women. All right. Now, again, there's certain people who feel like, oh, Neek, don't show what he said about Black women, because if you say something about, or you show what he said about Black women, then you're feeding into the media.
I just want to say that I agree that all messages need to be shown on both sides. I agree 1000%. We cannot pick and choose which messages that we want to magnify and which ones we don't. Because at the end of the day, he still did not get fairness in his trial. And we should not be afraid of his messages. So let's keep going.
That's their goal. I cannot control whether or not somebody chooses to support or withdraw support. All I can say is, I'm going to show you what he said. Okay. It's already been posted. I'm not going to act like it's not been posted. However, it is my belief that this situation is bigger than a comment that he made. Somebody said that was not a drug sale. I don't know. Okay. I have no idea. Some of y'all saying that that's a vape. I don't know. I don't know. But hey, I don't know. I'm just saying that's what they said. I don't know what's the sale or not. I don't know nothing about shrooms. Okay. I'm going to show the page about the Black women. Now, I am not showing this so that Black women can no longer support him. I think that what is going on is much bigger than the comment. Okay. But to be transparent and to show you guys, I'm going to show it. Okay. So here it is. And also, you know, there was people who were like, Neek, you know, how are you still supporting? Da, 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 da. I told you guys why. All right. So these are the text messages right here. So there was this, it says on or about March 16, 2025, the defendant captured a video stating, all you pussy ends come slide. You know where I'm at, pussy.
Okay. So these text messages are for March 24th, 2025. Okay. Let's keep going.
In. Oh, my mama life. You ends know where I'm at. B word. Okay. So on here, if you look, you can tell that he has a bruise on his face. Well, it looks like a bruise to me. And so then it says on or about March 24th, 2025, the defendant sent a racist text message to Valeria. And in the text message, it says, I effing despise black B words. And it says, HN, I do not like black bees. What don't these effing retards understand? All that wig glue is getting to their effing brain. Okay? And then it says, effing N-words, they need to go die.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is my interpretation of what this teenager said. He is speaking not on black women. Let's be clear. He is speaking about other black teenage girls. And I'm not gonna lie. My son, they treated my son so bad when he was younger that he doesn't want to date black teenagers. Well, he's still a teenager, but he does not hate black women because as most black women or teenagers mature, those ways that we see displayed, let's not be, and it's not only in black women, it's in every race. There is some girls who are just not raised in a respectable manner. I don't act in a respectable manner. He basically is talking about those girls. We don't know the history behind what the first impression he got from these black girls, not black women. But trust and believe, my son, even though he rather not date, he's, like I said, he's still a teenager. He doesn't hate black women. Let's be clear. Let's not take it out of context like some people did.
That was it. Okay. Now, in this post, I will have a full live for my members. Okay. Now, this video right now, I showed you guys some things that are in the document. I showed you guys some things that he said here, some things that he said there, some things that he said there.
I will say this
in a live for
that I do not believe that it was ever a forensic extraction. Because why? I mean, in a forensic extraction of a cell phone, there will be a definite direction, right? The mere fact that these text messages still say direction unknown doesn't make me to believe that it was ever confirmed. I know that Nick and maybe some others are going by what they were told, during the new trial hearing. They were told by the prosecution that the unknown direction was messages that he sent, right? I just don't believe that's transparent enough, because in legal documentation, the direction should be very transparent and factual. It should not be a guessing game. And I don't want to just be told by a prosecutor that, oh, well, we promise that those messages that say unknown direction, we promise that Karmelo is the one that sent those. No, it doesn't work like that. I do not believe that the messages were ever forensically analyzed, because there's no way that a true forensic professional will present these messages as evidence, as a fact, the way that they were presented, if that makes sense. So no, I'm going to say I don't know if any of this has ever been really truly substantiated because of the gentleman's agreement, where both sides agreed to not even allow them to enter, right? So I don't believe they did that extra work to substantiate it, if that makes sense. Norvana also says the top of each of those messages are labeled unknown direction. Exactly what I just said, Norvana. Meaning the text could have been received or sent by Karmelo. So I'm confused how people drew. Me too. And I'm still confused. I don't believe that they were ever really forensically examined or substantiated, because they didn't anticipate it coming up because of the gentleman's agreement. They thought that it was sealed deal. They didn't know that Russell Wilson was going to come into a new hearing. First of all, they didn't know that Judge Roach was going to be recused. That's never happened, in Texas and Collin County. They didn't know that, and they didn't know there would be a new trial hearing. So they wasn't prepared for that. So I don't believe that they went to the extent to substantiate or confirm the data that's being presented. They're going to have to now, because it's now into the permanent record for the actual appeal. So the appellate court's going to have to review this documentation, and it definitely has to be substantiated. Bridget says, I agree with you, Auntie Leah. He has the mind of a teenager, but is that a true text from KE? I don't know. They did not confirm. Like I said, it's kind of hard for me to believe that when evidence from a phone has been forensically extracted, right, professionally, that they will present that as evidence to the court of law. It'll confuse the jury, right? It would confuse the jury, and it would definitely confuse cross-examination. So like I said, I don't think that it ever went that far. It was just Worski showing, hey, Mike Howard and Toby Shook, this is what we have in your client. And Mike Howard saying, well, this is what we have on your client. They did the verbal gentleman's agreement, agreeing not to allow this evidence to come up in court, and it was filed away. So I don't believe that it was confirmed. So we don't know yet, but I do know that they will have to confirm it now, because it will be brought up in the appeal hearing, because now it is a part of the permanent file, if that makes sense. All right, let's keep going. And then we're going to end it, because I've been live twice today and Auntie tired.
Only my members, okay? Because it's been a while since I did a video that was just exclusive to members only, right? For my members, I will go over everything, okay? I will show you guys the entire document, okay? I will show you every single thing. In this live, I showed you certain things, but to my members, I will go over the messages with you in full, okay? So we'll do that. But that is what some of the document shows.
Okay.
That is what the document shows. And I still feel like, compared to Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf's behavior, I think show all of it. I think show what Karmelo said, show what Austin said, and put it out there. I don't think that withholding certain parts of it, I don't think that does either one of them any justice. I think that by withholding certain parts, people are able to create certain narratives. Now, I heard that the messages that he made about Black women was only to like a specific girl. Okay, that's what I was told. Now, I would have to hear from him directly to understand what he meant by
Listen,
that.
Okay, guys, again, it's not a Black woman that Karmelo was. I don't know why people keep using that word. It's a Black teenage girl or Black teenage girls. And that's not be naive. There are some Black teenage girls that are not brought up right, just like there's some white teenage girls that are not brought up right, just like there's some Hispanic ones that are not brought up right. It's in every race. This preference, and maybe something happened to the where they, how they treated him that made him say that specific statement. His mother is black. His aunties is black. Grandmother's black. Sisters are black. Okay, let's be realistic. The fact that not me, I'm not going to judge this kid off that, because he was a kid when he made that statement. He was a teenager, and he was talking about teenage girls. He was not talking about black women. People are taking it out of context. And we're going to listen to a little bit, and we're going to end this. I just didn't want to cut her off in the middle. Somebody said, Auntie Leah, I meant to say, Karmelo Anthony, thank you for your response. Oh, no problem. I try to respond when the questions are respectful and okay. But I have to filter through a lot of trolls in the comments that attack me every day, all day long, which sometimes makes me respond differently.
But I was told that he got into it with a girl, and the messages was to that specific girl. Okay. I also believe that because it was 90% of women going out to support Karmelo, I think that the prosecution intentionally wanted him to withdraw that support. I think that because there was so much corruption in this case, the backdoor deals, the way that it's one thing for them to do the backdoor deals. His defense team did not even put up a real defense. Like, when I was in the trial, I'm like, I feel like I could have did a better job at defending him. And now that I know that it was tailored to only under the tent, I still feel like I could have did a better job. How do you know it was self-defense? Tell me what your definition of self-defense is. How can you say that he provoked when he is the one who they put their hands on him first? Now, there is text messages in there where he said that, hey, you get mad at me, I'll get you mad, and then you want to put your hands on me. That's in the messages, okay? A lot of people think that also, oh, well, if we don't talk about it, then it's not there. Whether we talk about it or not, the prosecution still submitted this evidence. The court has this evidence. So I don't know why people think that if we don't talk about it or if we don't mention what's there, that it doesn't exist. It still exists, okay? It still exists. We can advocate for Karmelo, and we can also keep it real, okay? There is a message in there where he said, oh, well, I'll get you mad, so you put your hands on me. Hey, I feel like that's something that the court can use to support their argument. But I also feel like there's way more that the defense can use to show the contrary. You get what I'm saying? So just because it's there doesn't mean that, oh, no, we can't talk about it. We can talk about it all. Because at the end of the day, the prosecution, if you don't talk about it, do you think the prosecution's not? Do you think that the far right wing is not? Do you think that if we don't mention the comments that he made about black women, that they don't, we have to talk about these things, okay? We still have to talk about these things. I'm still going to talk about them. So with that being said, I wanted to go over what some of the things have in the document and in my members only live. I don't know if I'm gonna do it later today or if it's gonna be tomorrow, because I'll be telling y'all, hey, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. I don't know if it's gonna be later today or tomorrow, but I am going to do a live where it's gonna be for my members, and I'm gonna go over everything. I'm gonna show y'all the pictures of the weapons. I'm gonna show y'all the text that he sent to Valeria. I'm gonna show y'all everything, but that's gonna be for us, the Night Owls, okay? So if you're not a member, then become a member. If you care, you don't care, hey, that's up to you. Let me check my email really quickly before I end the live.
All right, guys. So I believe that is the end of the public part, that she went over the next part, the more in-depth review of the evidence. It's under her members only paywall. So I'm going to give you her channel so that if you're interested in reviewing the in-depth information, please just join our membership, join our channel, subscribe to our channel, join our membership. Okay, and get as much information as you can so that you can come to your own decision. A lot of us are out here making our decision on whether we want to support the self-defense defense claim or not, just based off emotions. A lot of people are thinking, oh, this is just race. You're race baiting. No. Like I said, if Karmelo was white and Austin was black, I would still say free Karmelo. Because in my opinion, he was defending himself. Hey, Kat, it's okay. It's okay. Shabbat Shalom. It's all right. We're about to end it, though, Kat. We are about to end it. I've been live twice today. But, guys, I want to appreciate you guys. If you like it here, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications bell. We are live often. Almost every day. Sometimes I get tired and exhausted, and I don't want to talk anymore. I got to regroup. I got to, get rejuvenated or edify myself in the spirit so I can go on. You know what I'm saying? So I was live twice today. Shout out to my moderator, Kat. Thank you so much for being here. Just in case. She said material evidence was withheld from the jury and deals were made off the record. Should have been grounds for a new trial. With that alone, yes. But we are in the state of Texas in Collin County. Yep, I agree with you, Kat. I encourage you to watch the replay for both lives I did today. Both of them were really good. A lot of information came out. We had an interview with an attorney that was in the courtroom during the Karmelo Anthony new trial. That's on the live prior to this one. The first part of that live was about Nolan Wells. Go back and replay that, replay gang. And I'm going to say this one more time. I don't have a racist bone in my body. I don't care how many times you come to my chat on any of my platforms and try to incite that. Everybody that know me for real knows that I love all people. And I've always said there are some beautiful white people. It is in this world. I don't like racist people. I cannot stand white supremacists. I have a speech impediment. You'll learn about me as well. I love white people. I love all people. That hate that you harbor, keep it to yourself. It does not live here. And I can imagine you have a very, very, very miserable life. Come back and kick it with me again. Brandy, I'm sorry if I came off hard on you, baby. But do you know how many times that we've heard that I have a black son speech about sensitive cases to where you may not fully understand why we support what we support, that, and it has nothing to do with people that look like me, because my people are not, they don't only just look like me. Do you know that there's people of all races that are my people? Anybody that fights against injustices, that's my people. Period, point blank. On that note, I am out of here. Listen, y'all know I always got to play the Truth Gang anthem on the way out. I need y'all to know that every song that you hear on this platform now is available on all streaming platforms. Spotify, Apple Music. Yep, I uploaded all the songs I've written and created. All the songographies are available for download now. Right now, I'm going out with the Truth Gang anthem. Meet me here tomorrow, guys. Turn on your notifications. You'll know every time I'm going live, all right? I love y'all. I love everybody. And I'm still going to say fair trial and justice for Karmelo. Now, when we say free Karmelo, in my mind, it's free Karmelo from that unjust trial and that unfair charge, in my opinion. I would be okay with manslaughter. Involuntary manslaughter. I'm okay with that. Murder, he didn't do. I don't care how many times you say it. Peace and love. We out.
This ain't clout. No. This ain't views. No. It's truth. Truth. It's pain. Hey. No matter where it lay, we still going. Still going. Truth gang. Truth gang. We been hurt, but we still don't break. Don't break. Every lie getting heavy, feel the weight that it takes. That weight. No silence, no fear. We've been carrying pressure. Carry that. If it's dark, we bringing light. Now it's now, it's never. Right now. True game, we've been standing through the pain in the rain. Do it all. Every loss, every tear, yeah, we carry the names. Say they name. No matter where it lead, we still stand. Still stand. 10 toes in the fire, it's the truth game. Down. We don't move off feelings, we move off facts. Paperwork, timelines, yo, we double check that. Run it back. If it don't add up, then we questioning it. If it's hidden in the dark, we addressing it. Bring it out. They want silence, they want fear, they want control. They want narratives, push that we don't expose. They lie, but we build different, yeah, we cut from truth. Real talk. We don't water down proof just to make it sound smooth. No way. We ain't running from nothing but a lie. No. And when we do run, we running towards the truth. Go time. Every step heavy, but we still don't fold. Don't fold. Because the truth worth more than gold. True game. We've been hurting, but we still don't break. Don't break. Don't break. Every lie getting heavy to the way that it takes. That way. We want the truth. The truth. Nothing but the truth. They quiet when it matters, but we loud for 'em. Louder. Candlelight tears. Yeah, we cry for 'em, still crying. They wanna check, try to sell the pain. Nah, but we want truth, we want real names. Real names. Ain't no healing if the truth is. No head, ain't no peace if they slide it. They politic trying to twist the story, but we 10 toes, yeah, we fight for it. Stand on it. We done seen cover-ups, we done seen delay. We done seen the evidence get pushed away. Pushed out. We done seen families cry with no answers. Why the truth get buried under lies and distractions. But we still here and we still pushing forward. Even when it get heavy, we going harder. This bigger than views, bigger than fame, bigger. This about justice, this about names. Say they name. It's for every mama still crying. Still crying. It's for every name they keep hiding. Say their names. It's for every truth they deny. They lie. We still here. We still rising. We rising. True game, we been hurt, but we still don't break. Don't break. Don't break. Don't break. Yeah. Every lie getting heavy, feel the weight that it take. That way. That way. Yeah. No silence, no fear. We been carrying pressure. Carry that. If it's dark, we bring it light. Now it's now or it's never. Right now, right now. True game, we been spinning through the pain and the rain. Through it all. Every loss, every tear, yeah, we carry the name. Say they name. No matter where it lead, we still stand. 10 toes in the fire, it's the truth game.